Boar's Head is bringing a slice of Japan to the deli. Introducing Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. Tender, slow-roasted chicken breast, coated in our signature teriyaki glaze, where ginger, garlic, and a hint of brown sugar meet for a flavor that's both sweet and savory. New Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. The bold flavor of Japan. Now at the deli. Only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
Blog Talk Radio.
Here we go. Blast off.
This is True Capitalist Radio. True Capitalist Radio.
I am your host, the man they call Ghost.
The badass of business.
Give him capitalism or give him death.
That's it. Period.
Broadcasting from his Skyline office studios in beautiful downtown Austin, Texas.
You sound fruitier than a box of Fruit Loops, for Christ's sake.
And now, he'll take it from here. Your host, the prognosticator of prognosticators, the man they call Ghost.
Oh, man, what's going on, folks? Thank you for tuning in with me to another edition of True Capitalist Radio. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. This is episode number 86 for all the folks that are keeping track with the True Capitalist broadcast. And before we get into anything, there's a lot of things on the agenda. I'm sure you're looking at the description. I don't even know if I'm going to get to all this crap. But before we get into it, I would ask you, please retweet the broadcast, all right? Go to the social networking sites, the forums, the blogs, spread it around like wildfire, and let everybody know that we're in effect and in the house. Not to mention that we have all those little buttons underneath the player, folks. If you happen to listen in right now, whether it's live or in the archive, we got these little buttons that are there, little Facebook thumbs up buttons, a little tweet this buttons, share this, email that, embed this, embed that. Use and abuse those buttons, baby. You know what I'm saying? Go out there and use and abuse those buttons. And don't be a milky licker. If you're listening in, spread the word, all right? Anyway, I want to talk about the volatile markets today in the equities. I mean, good God. I mean, if you started off the morning, you were thinking, good, Jesus Christ, another day of losses. Another day of losses. But, out came some economic data. The CPI data came out. There's, other retail data that came out today that was positive. Not to mention that commodities bounced back, so all this fueled a complete rebound in the equities markets today, and the equities, believe it or not, closed on the plus side. So let's get through the markets, and let's get through the commodities overrun, and then we're going to get to your calls and get to the other subject matters on the description. Once again, if you disagree or agree or want to comment on anything, please give me a call at 646-652-4869. Let's get over to the market, shall we? We got Dow Jones Industrials closing out today at 12,695.90, an increase of 65.89 points, a percentage increase of 0.52%. S&P 500 closes out today at 1,348.65 points, an increase of 6.57 points, a percentage increase of 0.49%. NASDAQ closes out on the increase, closing out today at 63.04 points, an increase of 17.98 points, a percentage increase of 0.63%. Let me tell you, it's either a 0.5% or better, 0.5% or better in all equities markets, for Christ's sake. Let me tell you, it was not too bad, especially if you're a day trader. Let me tell you something right now. I bought some positions. I'm not going to describe them on today's show, but I bought some positions in this morning, when things were dropping, when things were plummeting, for Christ's sake. Bought it this morning, sold it off in the afternoon, baby. Woo! Cash rules everything around me. Cream is the money. Dollar bill, y'all. Anyway, let's continue going, shall we? Let's go through the commodities before we get into anything else. Brent crude actually increased today. Brent crude oil futures, they're up 28 cents, a percentage increase of 0.25%, closing out today at $112.85 per barrel of Brent crude oil. Gasoline futures continue to decrease, though. That's a good news for everybody who's wondering when these gas prices are going to come down. Gasoline futures are definitely on the downside, down $17.75, a percentage decrease of 1.90%. Heating oil futures are up $1.18, an increase of percentage of 0.41%. Natural gas futures kind of flattened out today, not too much of a change there. WTI sweet crude. Let me tell you, we saw some pretty big collapses in the WTI sweet crude market this morning. I thought that we were going to go down to, I saw like close to $93 a barrel. Once again, commodities pulled through. We saw some good economic data. People are coming in, speculating once again. Even with the Chicago Mercantile Exchange's raises on margin requirements, even with all this resistance, even with all this artificial attempt at keeping these prices down, they continue to go up because the investors aren't stupid. Anyway, WTI sweet crude is up today, modestly, but still up. An increase of 62 cents today, a percentage increase of 0.63%, closing out today at $98.83 per barrel of WTI sweet crude. We've got canola futures down $5.30. Cocoa futures down $81. Coffee futures are finally starting to see some kind of buybacks. Got a couple of bottom feeders today. They're up $1.80, an increase of 0.66%. Corn futures saw a modest increase. They're up $3.25, a percentage increase of 0.48%. Cotton continues to see its descent, and I'm glad that we're seeing cotton descending, for Christ's sake, because I don't want to see any more of these ridiculous, overpriced garments at all these retail outlets out here in America, and you've got these dumb-ass fruity bastards running to these goddamn fruity shirts, overpriced like lab rats, running to food pellets, for Christ's sake. I mean, Ed Hardy, for Christ's sake, Ed Hardy, Abercrombie Fitch. I mean, give me a goddamn break. It makes me sick that I see these dumb twerps, They're going in here, buying these clothes that are like 8 times too small for their bodies, showing man boobs and, nipples. And, this is just the most underground San Francisco 1979 realm of fashion that we are witnessing right before our very eyes here in America. And, I'm contributing a lot of this to not only the open fruitness of America, but also the increase in prices of cotton. And it's good to see it going down today. Let's continue going down. Cotton's down $6, a percentage decrease of 4% today. Pretty good decrease. Wheat is down $23.75, a percentage decrease of 2.64%. Sugar is up 39 cents. Sugar is up 39 cents, a percentage increase of 1.86%. Soybean futures are up $11. Lumber futures continue their descent. They're down $1.30. Oat futures are up $5. We've got soybean oil futures up 16 cents, and wool, for some reason, continues to see its increase. Wool, it was up yesterday. It's up today. It's up $8 today, an increase of 0.62%. Let's get to the metals, shall we? Copper is up $6.40 today, a percentage increase of 1.64%. Gold, after seeing some sell-offs this morning, saw some buybacks as the commodities start to rebound throughout the day's trading. It increased today $4.30, a percentage increase of 0.29%. Closing out today at $1,505.70 per troy ounce of gold. Although it didn't help the silver market much. I don't know what's going on with silver. You know what I'm saying? These milky liquors in the silver market, ever since they raised the margin requirements twice within the week that they did so on trading metals, you've just seen just unbelievable, unprecedented type of charts as it relates to these types of gold and silver commodities, for Christ's sake. And let me tell you, and I'm going to reiterate this once again, this is purely artificial. The amount of requirements that they're charging the average futures investor, let me tell you, to trade futures, you have to have a little bit of capital. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have to have a little bit of capital, not to mention that you have to have a margin account. Well, the margin account, for all you folks that are unfamiliar with what margin is, it's the amount of credit that a brokerage firm allots you, or in this an exchange, the CME group allots you based on the deposit that you have within their firm or within their brokerage or within their group, within their market. And CME raised the amount of money that is required to deposit in these particular accounts when trading on margin gold, silver, or copper. And ever since they did this, folks, you can time the chart. If you look at a chart on silver, you can time when they implemented this idea of, these warped deposit requirements as it relates to the silver market. You can basically correlate that with the drops and the helter-skelter, zigzag, upside-down, volatile silver market since then. And once again, I'm going to say that this was an artificial attempt by the CME group, in my opinion, an artificial attempt at trying to bring down the price of commodities so that this government that already merged itself with Wall Street, so that this government can look and seem by the 2012 elections as if they've rectified the economy. Because remember, investors in general gauge the monetary system. They gauge the integrity of American currency based upon the price of metals, based upon the price of gold, based upon the price of silver. And when these things are down, when you got gold and silver down, at least this is what it used to mean, an investor would interpret a low price in gold and silver as a increase in value and buying power within the currency, within the dollar. And let me tell you something right now, we have seen this artificially come down. And, I can't believe nobody is talking about it. I mean, everybody on the business channels are sitting there saying, well, it just happens. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. This is a politically motivated, in my opinion, and the only reason I'm basing this, folks, is because I have been watching what is happening to our economy. This liberal regime that these people that are Poe in America and these leftist, communist, socialist assholes have been claiming that, once they were elected power, there was going to be equality for all, and, there was going to be a Cadillac in every driveway and a chicken in every pot and all this crap. The reason it hasn't come to pass, because this same liberal regime that these idiots elected gave our tax dollars to these idiots on Wall Street, to these financial institutions that basically lost their ass. They lost their asses because of the market, because of the decrease in the real estate market, decrease in the equities market. And how did they get recapitalized? They got recapitalized by our tax dollars, all right? Now, I've said this time and time again. As a matter of fact, I've been saying this for the past 2 or 3 years. I've blogged about it, but nobody gives a crap. So as a capitalist, I can just sit here and just air my opinion, but I'm going to still capitalize. I'm not going to sit back and, sit on my thumb and, have myself part of this separation between the Poe and the rich. Because let me tell you, the people that are separating the middle class and putting them in these categories of Poe and rich is your boys out there in the liberal regime, not to mention these idiots that are also representing the right wing of the political spectrum. They're also as fiscally irresponsible as these assholes on the left. So what I'm saying is, capitalists, we have a lot of work to do in an attempt to try to rectify the unbelievable discord in economics, politics, and social landscape in America. And what we have to do is come together and organize ourselves and realize that we, as capitalists, are at a different level. We're on another level than these individuals that are out here living these, entitlement collecting lives, or are bureaucrats within the system. Anyway, I didn't mean to get off on that tirade. Let me just get through the damn livestock, and we'll continue going forward. I'm just sick. I'm sick of seeing this merging of government and private enterprise. It makes me sick. Let me tell you something right now. These bureaucrats don't know their ass from their elbows, all right? I mean, you had dumbass Chuck kick the American people in the balls Schumer. Chuck Schumer, that asshole senator out of New York, actually get on TV and try to, say that the three branches of government were the Congress, the Senate, and the presidency. He actually got up on TV and said this. You can Google it up yourself. You can YouTube video of it. I mean, this is an idiot who's been in the goddamn system for over 25, 30 years, and he doesn't know the three branches of government. This is a man who's setting policy. This is a man who is a key figure in the Senate when it comes to this liberal regime. And this man does not, all right, he does not know the three branches of government. I mean, this is how disgusting and despicable bureaucracy can get. Bureaucracy is inefficient. It has proven itself incompetent. And as we can see through all the municipalities that are going under because of their fiscal irresponsibility in America, because we see all these states that are going under because of their fiscal irresponsibility in America, we as capitalists can no longer trust these bureaucrats. And it's time for us to assert our authority because we fund these little people. We fund these little people. And that's what these damn bureaucrats need to start recognizing. Because let me tell you something, us as capitalists, we're recognizing it, and we're recognizing it now. Anyway, we got live cattle futures up 60 cents. We've got cattle feeder futures up 95 cents. And for all you ham bone gnawing pieces of fat jelly asses that have to throw a couple of ham bones down your hole, the lean hog futures are up $1.25, a percentage increase of 1.34%. And that, my friends, is the markets for your ass, all right? Now, if it sounds like I'm a little upset, it's because I am. It's because I am upset. You got all these hyper-patriot assholes out here in America today that are out here, hey, USA, USA, USA. USA, I mean, I know that we caught Bin Laden, we killed him, and, it's a great boost for our morale. But there is a lot of problems here in America today. And a lot of the problems have to do with the population, with the masses themselves, the complacency, the acceptance of just being nothing more than a mooch to society. I mean, we're turning into Greece, for Christ's sake. And for all you folks that haven't kept up with Greece lately, they're out there throwing Molotov cocktails at the goddamn cops because they have to go back to work. They can no longer live in the damn socialist, dumb society that basically produces nothing. I mean, you can't have a socialist society forever. I mean, at some point you're going to go bankrupt, and this is exactly what happened in Greece. I mean, when was the last time you purchased a goddamn product that was made out of Greece, huh? You haven't, because they don't produce crap. They're a bunch of socialist ingrates that believe that because they were shitted out of some Greek broad's uterus, that they are entitled to free everything, a free house, a free car, a free job, a free pension. It's just disgusting. Retirement at 45. I mean, working 6 hours a day with 3-hour lunches. I mean, it's disgraceful, man. It's an unbelievable disgrace. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't want to get to Greece right now. I want to get to President Obama unveiling his new cybersecurity plan. I tell you, I think that Barack Obama or somebody within the White House is listening to the True Capitalist radio broadcast. And let me explain why. Because, folks, I have been, covering this anonymous PlayStation, alleged PlayStation hack job. And how the media is demonizing Anonymous as a terrorist organization, as a cyber criminal element, that sort of thing. And I've been telling the Anonymous group that have listened to me, I know I have a lot of Anonymous listeners who listen to me, I have been telling the Anonymous group that they need to distance themselves from whoever it was that is related to the group that hacked PlayStation. All right? And I've been saying this from day one. They need to, do some internal investigations on their own before the Justice Department is told to go out and start, prosecuting Anonymous members to the extreme of the law. And what is the extreme of the law? Well, when I was talking about this, and I've been talking about this for the past couple of weeks. As a matter of fact, you can look back in the archive, folks. I've been talking about what are the possibilities that government, can use. What are the tools at the disposal of the government that they could use so that they could prosecute anonymous members? Well, I alluded to back in those broadcasts that they can use things like the Homeland Security Act, that they can use things like the RICO statute, and guess what they're going to use under Obama's new cybersecurity plan? Oh, they're going to use the RICO statute. They're going to use what did I say? What did I say was going to happen? The prognosticator of prognosticators strikes again. And let me tell you, it's either I'm a psychic or the people in the White House are listening to the broadcast and saying, you know what, Ghost has got a point. Let's hit up these goddamn hacker groups with, the RICO statute, because the RICO statute justifies, and let me tell you, it's one of these extreme laws that was made for the mafia, it was made for the mafia. That's how they took down Sam Giancana. For all you folks that aren't familiar with your mob history, I happen to know mob history. Sam Giancana got taken down by the RICO statute, and they put him in prison, and they kept him in there until he almost rotted. But you see, what's unfortunate is that these anonymous members think this is a big game. They think it's a big joke. And let me tell you right now, if you don't come through with whoever it was that hacked the PlayStation Network, I guarantee, all right, mark my word, I've already predicted that the government was going to use the RICO statute, that the government is going to use Homeland Security elements, the Homeland Security Bill elements, or Homeland Security Act, and all that stuff, all that mumbo jumbo that has been passed right underneath our noses. There's so much bills and executive orders and all this crap that's been underneath our noses. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're going to finally use it, and I think that you're going to start seeing anonymous members, all right, taken down by not only American governments, all right, but, possibly other governments that are in cooperation with, Western economies. So if you think that you're in another country, like in France or England or Netherlands, anything that's favorable to the Western economic global model, who oblige themselves to, things like the WTO and things like the United Nations. Well, these people are going to work in concert. I mean, I think you need to read, what's planned for this whole cybersecurity plan, this whole Obama Cybersecurity Act. And let me tell you something right now, man. If I were anonymous, I think I'd hold back on, wearing those stupid V for Vendetta masks, and I would hold back on, putting off these stupid, dumb, this is for Scientology. John Travolta sucks, or whatever you people are doing. Y'all just crossed the line, man. And I've been telling you, I've been trying to tell you, I'm not against anonymous here. Now, I've been trying to, project these ideas in hopes that Anonymous can, take its proverbial head out of its ass and realize that, hey, maybe we should turn in whoever it was that hacked this stupid Sony PlayStation and just turn them in so that we can not be recognized as a terrorist organization, so that we won't be listed as some kind of, national security risk. Look at these people. They think it's funny that you can't prosecute Annan. Okay. You keep thinking that, Josh Morris. You keep thinking that, and, you keep conducting yourself in all these denial of service attacks. You keep doing this. I'm not joking, man. You need to reread what's going on here, all right? You see, you can continue to claim that Anonymous is not a led group. That's what the La Cosa Nostra said, Isn't that what La Cosa Nostra said? Oh, we're not a group. We're not a family. We're not this. We're not that. No. You see, now, at this point in time, you are being targeted by the government. And I am warning you once more that if you don't come up with that idiot that hacked the goddamn PlayStation and put in jeopardy 100 million people's accounts, at risk, then, unfortunately, you're going to start seeing, people taken down from Anonymous. I kid you not, all right? Mark my words. What's today's date? Today's date is the 12th, okay? Give it 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I guarantee you're going to start seeing anonymous members. And who are they going to take down first? All right, I'll tell you who they're going to take down. They're going to take down the individuals that are the organizers in, certain main metropolises, like the big metropolises, like Los Angeles, New York, Seattle possibly, maybe here even in Austin, Texas. They're going to, start rounding up these people. And I'm not joking. This is what's going to happen. You people can sit here and laugh. You think, oh, it's not going to happen. But they have every right to do so, man. They have every right to do so. Anyway, I didn't want to get into a big argument about, if they're going to fight anonymous, if they're not going to fight anonymous. Look, if y'all want to live in La La Land and think that, and if you happen to be a youth, if you happen to be under 18 and you think that, I'm going to be tried as a juvenile. No, you can't, you idiot. Under the Homeland Security Act, or under the RICO statute, depends on which, what Eric Holder decides to prosecute these anonymous members under. But if he prosecutes you under the Homeland Security Act, well then, by God, you're probably, you're probably not going to see a trial with a jury. Let's just put it that way, all right? You're probably going to go to the same place where that poor son of a bitch, Bradley Manning, that guy that released all the WikiLeaks information to Julian Assange. I think that you're going to end up in that poor place, and that poor son of a bitch, is getting tortured. And let me tell you, I'm not justifying that torture. As a matter of fact, when I heard that this was happening, I think this is a tragedy. I think it's a disgrace that, we're sitting over here torturing people for information, but at the same time, this is what it is. I mean, I disagree with it, but it is what it is. And let me tell you something else. There is no age limit when it comes to terrorism, all right? So, well, I mean, obviously, it can't be stopped, but it's going to prosecute the leaders and the creators of this organization. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. So, and not only that, you know what you're doing, Anonymous? You know what you're doing? You're helping the regulation of the internet. So, as much as, you guys like to claim, internet freedom, yay! You are perpetuating the regulation of the internet. So, that's great. Thanks a lot, guys. You guys are great. All right? Anyway, 646-652-4869. We're talking about Obama unveiling his cyber security plan. You know what I'm saying? So, Anonymous seems, we're hearing it right here. As a matter of fact, I mean, if there's anybody from the press or anybody from the media looking into the chat room right now, Anonymous doesn't seem scared whatsoever. They're saying, screw the governments, we don't care, so we'll see what happens. Let's take some calls here, shall we? 571, you're on the horn.
Hi, it's Howard Stern, WNBC.
Shut up, you idiot. 909, what's up?
Yo, go.
Yeah. Oh, man, I don't know. I hung up on you because you took too long. 908, what's up?
Up you.
Yeah, you're stupid. 740, what up?
What's up, Ghost? It's Tony in Ohio, man.
Hey, what's going on, Tony in Ohio? It's good to hear from you, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you? I'm just, I was going to call in just to give you an update on what was going on with that poker thing that I talked about last time, and then I was also, if you didn't care, going to comment with you on some of the stuff you're talking about.
Well, go for it, man.
I was just going to update everybody. Basically, the government shutdown with the internet poker scene has continued. PokerStars has started to pay out because the law in the Isle of Man where they're stationed has allowed them to pay out American players, and they had to legally, by their laws there, have to keep all the money separate from account money from the business, so none of that money was ever seized by the government, so PokerStars people are straight. On the flip side, UB and that's Ultimate Bet and Absolute Poker have basically filed for bankruptcy. All the American players will get screwed out of their money there, most likely. So don't look. Man. Yeah, so don't look to get your money back if you played on those sites. And the site that I'm on is right in the middle. Nobody knows what's going on yet. We're supposed to get an update on the 15th to let us know, one way or the other, which way they're leaning, whether this is going to go into bankruptcy or this is going to go into payouts. We don't know. It's probably about 50-50 up in the air again. The percentages and odds on it change day to day, but we're all gamblers, so that's why we keep changing the odds. But as far as that's about it. And then as far as comment on what you were talking about, I was calling in originally to talk about the Ron Paul thing because I figured you're going to ball peen the shit out of him, or the heck out of him, pardon my
French.
Well,
I'll bring you back on when I talk about Ron Paul. It'll be later in the program if you happen to be still here, man. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. But
and
we've been covering this anonymous thing for a long time. As a matter of fact, There are many members of Anonymous that listen to my program. And I've been trying to emphasize to these guys that they need to, either do some internal house cleaning or they're going to be categorized because they're already doing it in the media. They're already one step into almost terrorist organization realm. And now that Obama has put out this cybersecurity plan, this new cybersecurity plan, they are going to utilize the tools that I had mentioned the past couple of weeks, RICO statute, Homeland Security Act, maybe some executive orders, to start bringing these people in, as just basically to show people if you are affiliated with this type of nonsense, we're going to throw you into the same place that, Bradley Manning is at currently.
Yeah, I agree with you as far as the penalties are going to come to pass, but that goes with any civil disobedience. And as far as them being thieves and breaking into stuff, that's possible as well. I'm not there. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but all I know is, those things have to be prosecuted because they're thefts and they're harms. Any harm you're going to have to be prosecuted for. But I don't think that it's going to be legitimate for them to be called terrorists at any point. Nobody's dying. I don't think it's going to be legitimate for them to use the RICO statute because in order to have an organized crime, you'd have to prove that there's some organized effort to gain profit, whereas largely that group is so disorganized, you're only going to get sections of it. You'll get, a couple hundred people that were involved or maybe even a couple thousand. I don't know how many it takes to do a DDoS, but whenever you do these denial of service attacks, whoever's involved with the stealing of personal information and stuff, they got to go to prison.
You have to read the RICO statute though. They only have to prosecute one person that allegedly conducted one of these acts of what would have to be deemed as acts of terrorism. And let me tell you, the compromising of the PlayStation Network and possibly the access to 100 million accounts is not only a terrorist act, but it's an economic instability. And this is why, you're starting to see Obama here take these steps in trying to, utilize the tools that are at the government's disposal to prosecute these particular individuals. And what's unfortunate, go ahead.
I was going to say, like I said, I'm all for prosecuting them for any harms that they're causing, but I also I support them overall. I always have. I've been a big supporter of WikiLeaks and of Anonymous since.
Well, I think
I just don't support everything they do.
Well, you can't correlate WikiLeaks with Anonymous. WikiLeaks
not exactly, but they do support them.
WikiLeaks is an organized group that actually believes in the outpouring, or actually the transparency of information is what I meant to say.
Right.
And Anonymous, on the other hand, is just, and I'm going to be honest. They're not organized. Okay, I'll give them that. But at the same time, they're still able to organize enough people that claim they're anonymous to, implement these kinds of civil acts of disobedience. Now, it's one thing to do it, against Scientology, which is the most stupidest and lamest idea.
Right.
Look, if Moot's mom ended up going to Scientology, and that's too bad, all right? Tough titty. That's a free will thing, all right? If somebody is being held against their, will, against, because of Scientology, they willingly went into a cult. And I think that protesting, Scientology is a disgrace. It's stupid. It's a waste of time, waste of energy, waste of effort. All right.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm even thinking that's even a good idea either, but they do positive things, like they've been involved in shutting down government websites during these uprisings in the Middle East to stop civilians from getting killed. So, there's people, they have been linked directly to that. So it's like there's some people in the group that actually are activists, but the majority are probably just like 15-year-old kids that just, hey, look at me, my internet hate machine, woohoo, you know what I mean? And that's what they do. They just sit there and do as much destruction as possible.
And that's why I'm saying that they're going to have to take a step back from the whole anonymous label. I mean, I'm just, and I'm not saying this because I want Anonymous to go down or I'm against it, but just look at what's being transpired here. The media campaign that's painting these guys as just some kind of just wild, pathetic, terrorist, devious, Joker-like organization. And,
if you take the terrorist out of it, I agree.
Well, no, they're using the word terrorist. I mean, the media is using the word terrorist, cyber terrorism. That's what they're doing, cyber terrorism.
I know, but you know that really doesn't fit. You know what I mean? Like a terrorist, how could you be a terrorist if nobody's getting killed? You know what I mean? You're not scaring anyone. You know what I mean? It's like they're not intimidating us out of markets.
They're jeopardizing the integrity of the internet system that they claim that they want so free. They're jeopardizing
I agree, but that's
the integrity of commerce.
I know, but that's a thief. That's they're thieves and what do you call it? When you break a window, you're a vandal. You know what I mean? That's hardly a terrorist. I wouldn't call somebody that's smashing out windows of a store.
Let me tell you. I mean, it's kind of like the mafia, man. I mean, they'll not tear you down unless you oblige the way they think or the way they feel or their terms. I mean, it's much like cyber racketeering. I think it's. I'm not saying that's what they're doing. But this is how it can be interpreted, and it is being interpreted. And you see, I mean, it's one thing to sit over here and be abstract in your description about Anonymous and being like, oh, they're just kind of kids, and don't worry about them. They didn't mean they didn't do this. Let me tell you something. If Anonymous, doesn't come out with who put this out, then it's going to be more than just kids, and it's going to be more than just games and denial of service attacks. And I'm telling you right now, I think that you're going to see the organizers of this organization. They're going to be taken down, man, at least within the next 2 to 3 weeks, maybe longer, depending on the Attorney General and the case they're trying to get against these guys.
I mean, I have to agree that they should self-police, but, I mean, I just don't know if they have the capacity to. I think it's more of something that's they started a monster, and they can't stop it now. It does positive things one week and then does negative things every other day. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's why I'm saying. I mean, that's why I'm not saying that these young kids that are out here just, claiming to be an Anonymous, throwing a stupid mask on their face and claiming to be it, are going to get prosecuted. I'm talking about the leadership. I mean, they need to be concerned. I mean, the people that incepted this idea, believe me, they're well known. I mean, these people are going to be arrested. I think that they think it's a big joke. They haven't even made a concerted effort in an attempt to try to help, or at least make it look like they're trying to help in this investigation on this PS3 or the PlayStation Network hack. And what I'm saying is that, if you're going to continue to be some, holier-than-thou digital revolutionary group, you're going to have to stop banking on this idea that, we're unorganized, we're just a bunch of morons and a bunch of idiots who go around and just do what we want. I mean, if that's the case, well, then who's going to be victimized here? It's going to be the leadership who may have started this organization under good intentions. But let me tell you something, this leadership's going to get taken down, man, and I'm not joking. I know that idiots think that they're... Go ahead.
You're right. A lot of the people that had something to do with starting it, that got, not even, just incrementally, kind of organically got together. One hacker did this, one activist did that, blah, 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 blah. When you get the whole ball rolling, and like you said, the people that are, the idols of that group, are well known. People know who they are. You know what I mean? Moot does speeches and stuff and all that.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, there are people that would probably face consequences. I'm just not sure it would stop it. You know what I mean? And I do agree with you. It needs to be, kind of reined in from the inside. It's just, I think, people got to realize, the people that kind of started that whole thing have a leaning toward, what I would think of as kind of a benign anarchism, like libertarian, so to speak. But the problem is that this isn't anarchism. Anarchism does not have a lack of social norms. That's called anomie, A-N-O-M-I-E, and that's what Anonymous is on most days. It's anomie. It very rarely manifests itself positively, but when it does, it's very effective. But they need to figure a way to channel it more into a positive, something with social norms. What they have there is a complete lack of social norms. It's like if it wasn't online, people would be dying. You know what I mean? Because it's
absolutely.
There's just completely deviant people there, sociopaths.
I mean, we have recordings here of, some Woody Allen butt-loving pedophile that used to listen to the program, used to call himself the tech guy. courtesy of Dick Burns, who's out there listening somewhere. The tech guy is supposed to be a part of Anonymous. And, we have him on tape here, saying that, Anonymous participates not only in what they do with denial of service, with civil disobedience, but these, guys are also participating in things like child pornography and the exploitation of young girls, over the internet and that sort of thing. So I'm just saying, it's not just this. It's not just PlayStation Network. It's, pedophile activity. It's, child pornography. It's, the taking down of certain networks, the defacing of certain people's cyber property, so on and so forth. And let me tell you, the tech guy basically said, and if anybody knows, he does, because he's on the computer 24 hours a day, basically said, and if you want to hear the clip, I got it, but he basically says that in a certain area where Anonymous hangs out in, this is where they exploit young girls, to take off their tops and, get naked, 13, 14-year-old girls here. And you see, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, Anonymous doesn't think that this is a pertinent thing to talk about. They don't believe that they're going to be prosecuted for this type of stuff.
Now, when you're talking about that happening to kids, that encouragement of them doing stuff like that, is that because Anani really doesn't have a site per se. 4chan facilitates a lot of it, so people confuse 4chan with you know what I mean. 4chan is, I think, what you're talking about, right?
Well, no, hold on. Look. I'm gonna let everybody hear the clip. Just hold on right there, Tony. I'm gonna let everybody hear the clip. You hear it. And this is the tech guy in a tape conversation with Dick Burns and a whole bunch of other people, from within Anonymous, supposedly, talking. And just listen very closely, all right? I mean, you'll hear it for yourself. Go ahead, engineer. Throw it on, engineer.
No, just say that you have herpes, but you're on Valtrex and your asshole is clean.
Hey, I just want to be your friend on Facebook.
And like you're retarded.
Sierra's best work. What is this?
Oh, damn.
Who's that? That's not Sierra. Hey, is that CP?
That's Sierra.
Oh, no, that's not Sierra.
That's the girl in the chat.
That's not Sierra. You guys are posting CP. You little bastards.
I'm not posting. It's not.
You fucking tried to trick me, dog. Wait, did somebody hang up?
Yeah, Sierra left.
Because I said it was CP?
No, because he posted a picture of her.
Oh, she got sad?
Yeah.
Who posted it? Wait, let me see.
I posted it. She got mad. Fuck.
Oh, no!
Yeah, she doesn't like that shit.
Wait, she's little.
That was like 3 years ago.
120 pounds, maybe.
She's like 110 pounds.
Now we made her sad. She thought it was funny.
She thought it was funny, huh?
How did you find a pic of her back in the day?
That's like her most popular thing.
I was Googling pencil bait, and I looked up pencil bait on torrents, and then there was a torrent of her X-rated video, and I went to that, and I went there to the comments on the torrent. This girl is not 18 years old, and it's a picture of Sierra, because her video is the one where she's like 11 or 12.
She has a porn?
Yeah.
No way. Wait, how old is she?
Dude, she was 12 in that, but she was 15.
She was born in 2008.
That girl looks like she's in middle school. Like, for real.
She's a sophomore.
She's 15. Why did she leave? Can she come back? I didn't post the video.
No, I don't think she's... Well, she maybe will, but that shit fucks with her a lot. Guy who blackmailed her is in jail. Not for that one, but for another one that he did after that.
Oh, wait, he filmed underage girls?
Not filmed them, but blackmailed them, like, coke and shit.
How do you obtain 12-year-olds porno and blackmail them?
Ask card.
There's girls that go on cam on a site called stickcam.com, and they go on cam and they expect everyone to be friendly, but instead everyone just asks for tits. They're like, tits or get the fuck out, and then they show up 4chan, and then they show them 4chan, and they're like, oh, 4chan is so cool, I want to get naked for Anonymous. And sometimes they get naked for Anonymous, and sometimes they get naked for blackmailers. It's like 3 a.m. in the morning when there's CPA on 4chan.
Gross.
Hey, yeah, man, it's really fucking savage. You didn't even know. I can't even say it out loud right now because I'm with other people.
Sometimes it can be like how.
Oh, yeah.
Did Sierra see that pic?
Yeah, she saw it, and she said, wow. But that meant
I'll fucking kill you.
Oh.
Ask her back. She was nice, and she thinks I'm funny. And not everybody thinks I'm funny.
Tell her I'll leave if she wants. And I won't post anything like that again. If you want, Malcolm. Or I'll tell her.
I'm talking to her right now. Just hold on. She just doesn't understand why you posted it, like...
Oh, okay. I was just being random.
Uh-oh, Malcolm's not happy. He's leaving?
No, I'm not unhappy. I just gotta go.
Oh.
Gotta go console a lonely 15-year-old.
Did that guy just say he has to cornhole a 15-year-old?
Console.
Oh, my bad.
I think Sierra wants to kill me right now or kill herself because she said, a few laughs? It ruined my entire life, in caps. I have no friends, all capitals. I got harassed. It will always bother me. I said, I'm really sorry. And the fact that I can't go one day without thinking about it, and I try to have fun, and it still gets brought up, makes me even wonder why I bother trying to be normal. She was dumb enough to go on the internet at 12 and get naked and start bathing for some 30 minutes.
No, because she was 12, okay? That's not dumb. Come on.
All right. I think we had enough of this. Get it off, engineer. Now, what you just heard right there was a conversation with supposed anonymous members. You heard him say it yourself right there, where Anonymous congregates to go out and get, child pornography and to exploit children. Did you hear that, Tony?
Yeah, but I don't buy into the whole idea that those guys actually are in Anonymous. They're 4chan freaks. That's what a lot of 4chan people go there for, is for shit like that. I don't.
No, I mean, I beg to differ, man. I beg to differ completely. I mean, I can come up with other recordings too, but I don't want to make this a case for, against Anonymous here. I'm just trying to tell Anonymous that if they don't do some internal house cleaning, that the government is going to start taking them down. I'm not trying to say that, I'm against them. I'm not trying to make a case against them, anything of that nature. But, there are recordings like this that I am in possession of, and, not to mention, information that I'm in possession of that clearly points in the direction of Anonymous participating in this PlayStation Network attack. So that's why I'm saying, I know that, everybody wants to make a case for Anonymous that, hey, they're just a silly group of kids, they're just going out doing denial of service attacks against, governments, but at the same time, this, PlayStation Network denial of service and the infiltration of a hole within the operating system that ran this network is something that is jeopardizing internet freedom and internet security. And unless Anonymous comes up with these goddamn idiots that they know that that did this, all right, then you're going to see some not only toppling down of Anonymous, but you're also going to see some regulatory type rules to the internet thanks to Anonymous. I mean, don't you agree?
Yeah, I do agree with that, and I'm like I said, I'm not saying that there aren't people in Anonymous that aren't a bunch of freaks. There are, because you just voluntarily join that botnet and then it just goes from there. So that's how them people work. You know what I mean? But the fact that there is some people that are freaks doesn't make the whole group freaks or even majority freaks, because
yeah, but don't you agree though that that's the same argument that they're giving to the Islamic idea? Just because there's a small faction, this and that, and yet you don't see the type of internal policing within the Islamic community to try to stop the stereotype that perpetuates that community. I mean, it's the same type of deal. I mean, if Anonymous wants to stop perpetuating the idea that they're child porn peddlers, they exploit children, they commit cyber crime, cyber terrorism, however you want to interpret it, or they want to be somebody who's an actual anti-hero organization. The kind of organization that goes out and tries to, do the wrong thing for the right cause. And I don't think that's what they are. I think that they're, an organization that actually champions this type of activity. And let me tell you, I've done some extensive research on these people, and this is what they like to do. They like to go out and, exploit children. They like to, go out and, make fun of dead people's, memorials. They like to just do these, disgusting, pathetic things. And what I'm saying is that that's fine. You can do whatever you want, but now it just turned into serious business. It turned into cyber terrorism, and I'm just trying to make some kind of an observation that if Anonymous wants to continue on with their little free, innocent, way of interpreting their organization, they need to come up with the person that came, that hacked the goddamn website. And if they're not, well then, not only are they going to be rounded up, but they are going to be the cause. They are single-handedly going to be the cause of the regulation of the Internet, man. And I know that you're probably going to say the argument, well, it's not everybody, it's not this, it's not that. It doesn't matter. If enough people believe it, then it's real. Don't you understand that? I mean, wasn't it Hitler that said, the bigger the lie, the more people believe it?
I understand what you're saying, and believe me, even if that's just the perception, I know they'll face the same consequence. I'm not at all disputing that. You're totally right about the way that works, but it's just that's the way the government does things. But that's a problem for us, because our government's doing the wrong thing, not because it's actually something we should just bow down to. And the fact that cops killed their wives and the cops don't do anything to police that, and they beat people and they don't police that, and they shoot people in the back and they don't police that, nobody ever says anything about, well, why don't we outlaw the cops then? Because it doesn't make any sense.
Let me, Tony, come on, man. I've been broadcasting here, and I have been no fan of the cops. All right, I mean, you can look back in the archives. As a matter of fact, I think I talked about the cops a couple of days ago. I think what was it, 2 days ago or a day ago? Some cop called up claiming to be some officer of the law when I recognized his number as one of these goddamn prank callers who prank calls my goddamn show. And then I went off on a tirade about a cop. Let me tell you something. I hate the cops. All right? I mean, if somebody is going to, come in and inflict any kind of crime upon me, they're the last people I'm going to call. I'm not going to call, the goddamn cops who are not worried about, serving and protecting. They're worried about tax collecting. I'm screaming about it there, Tony, but, once again, if the majority of the people think that these idiots that, we pay with our tax dollars are actually serving and protecting, yet, whenever there's a crime, they're always the last one on the scene. When people are on the floor bleeding, when people are on the floor shot dead, they're always the last one on the scene, yet they're always the first one on the scene when you got a goddamn broken taillight, for Christ's sake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and all I was trying to do by pointing out that example was saying like what you did with the Muslims or with Anonymous. When a small group of people ruins it for the rest, it's wrong for the government to go after the whole group. They don't go after all the cops because one or two cops are bad cops and are involved with organized crime or whatever. They go after just those cops, and that's what they should do. They should force Anonymous if they want. I understand they have to probably put some pressure on them to out these people who are involved in the type of things that you're talking about because they are evil things. There's no doubt that clip you played, I don't know if you heard me screaming over the clip. I'm like, Ghost, can you cut this off? You're turning my stomach. So it's like, that type of stuff needs to be taken care of. Those people need to go to prison, and they need to be put away for a long time, a lot longer than the potheads that we got sitting in our jails right now. You know what I mean?
I can agree with that also. I mean, I've also talked about that we don't need to continue to, prosecute these types of crimes. But, hey, Tony, if you don't mind, you want to call back up when we talk about Ron Paul, man. We're going to talk about that because he did say in an interview that he wouldn't have ordered the bin Laden raid, and I'm sure people are going to agree with that, and I'm sure you'd probably be in opposition to that agreement, right?
I'm kind of actually going to agree, but not that sense of it. When he said that, he didn't just say he wouldn't order it. He said he wouldn't have ordered him to be a kill-only mission. He wanted him captured, which I agree with that. We should have put his ass on trial and hung him anyway.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that later, man. Can we get your point of view on that? May call back in a little bit, man?
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks a lot, Tony, man. Tony in Ohio, man. Avid listener, back in the true conservative radio days, man. Anyway, we were talking about, before we got into this whole sidebar conversation about Anonymous and how, we've been covering this hack job that's happened in PlayStation Network that has allegedly been conducted by, or at least, according to reports, by Anonymous. And what I've been saying for the past several shows, for the past 2 weeks, is that Anonymous needs to take its head out of its ass and start, policing its own. And yet I continue to get these excuses from people from Anonymous that, oh, we're not an organization, we're not organized. Oh, yeah, well, a prosecutor can, make a different case for that, So anyway, I don't want to talk about Anonymous anymore. They obviously don't care. They think, child pornography is great. They think that, all this is a big joke, So who cares? You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to highlight that President Obama's cybersecurity plan is going to use the tools that I described several weeks ago, all right? The Homeland Security Act and the RICO statute in pursuing so-called cyber terrorists. So be on the lookout for that. Anyway, let me go ahead and move on. I want to talk about this dumbass Eskimo bimbo, Sarah Palin, who actually had the goddamn gall to go out and say that the gangster rapper Common, which of course I've been talking about because I really don't agree with it, but that's just my own personal opinion. But Sarah Palin had the audacity to call the rapper Common being invited to the White House a lack of class and decency. I mean, are you kidding me? This disgusting, pathetic waste of human life who can't even answer simple questions like what do you read in the morning? It has the audacity to sit over here and talk about class and decency. This is the same whore that produced a daughter who, hopped on something that looks good in a hockey stick, shitted out a child at 16, 17, and claimed to be a goddamn conservative. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Sarah Palin, you stupid, dumb Eskimo bimbo? A lack of class and decency? How do you have the gall to talk about class and decency, for Christ's sake? You are the one that single-handedly flushed the conservative movement down the toilet. That's what you did, Sarah Palin. You flushed the goddamn conservative movement down the toilet. No one has done more to single-handedly corrupt the conservative movement than you have. So I cannot believe that this meat-holes, glasses-wearing bimbo has the audacity to sit over here and say that, inviting Common lacks class and decency. Now, don't get me wrong, I agree with those comments, but I don't agree with it coming from Sarah Palin because I don't like hypocrisy, all right? I hate hypocrites. And you couldn't get any more bigger. You couldn't even get any more of Jesus Christ, more of an example of hypocrisy than sitting over here saying, inviting Common to the White House, it shows class, it is decency. Shut up. You have to write words on your hand. And not to mention, you have to write the fundamentals of the right wing, like tax cuts. Tax cuts. She had to actually write tax cuts on her hand, for Christ's sake. Tax cuts. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I think we got Todd Palin, believe it or not, on the horn here. Believe it or not, for some reason, he's calling up. We got Todd Palin here, and let me tell you, before we get into that, let's see what he has to say. Todd Palin, are you there, sir? Todd Palin?
Yeah, hey, Ghost, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You son of a bitch. How dare you talk about my wife like that? How dare you? She has put her life on the line for this country. She put in a full half a term as governor of Alaska. She dealt with those oil tycoons. She fought for your liberty, you asshole. And you run over her with the bus like this, you piece of garbage. How dare you?
Wait a minute, Todd Palin. Wait just a second. Hold on just a second there, son. Why exactly are you chomping down my bits about your wife? Aren't you going out to some massage parlor out there in Alaska getting a hand pump from some Eskimo or something like that? Didn't I read that correctly?
Look. We all make mistakes, Ghost. I'm not here to talk about that. Look, we got this gangster rapper motherfucker who's out there killing people, doing drive-by shootings and rapping about it, and he's out on the White House lawn, and suddenly he's a goddamn... Son of a bitch, Ghost! You support this? Are you kidding me?
Whoa, wait a minute. Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second.
Are you supporting these goddamn gangster rappers?
Calm your ass down. Hold on, calm your ass down. I'm not supporting this guy. As a matter of fact, I have been against this ever since that it was announced. Ever since, Michelle Obama announced this poetry reading, once they announced that, Common was going to be invited, I was reminded, I was recollected of the fist bumps that Michelle Obama did. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was in recollection of all that, hip-hop propaganda that was, subliminally suggested within the campaign. And it's no coincidence that, you've got Common out here reading poetry about killing cops and assassinating George W. Bush. All right, but, I was expecting Flavor Flav, to be honest with you. But, once again, Mr. Palin, how can you sit here, first of all, talk about me? Secondly, how can you sit here and say that your wife has any class and decency when you've got a daughter who's not only shitted out a kid by some, two-bit hick out there that works a hockey stick on a frozen lake out there in Alaska, but also is going out here getting her face mangled up with reconstructive, Angelina Jolie surgery and going out and trying to become a reality star, for Christ's sake? How can you justify that?
Hey, don't change the subject, asshole. Look, I don't care. I have a problem with you, Ghost, and your support of these gangster rapper motherfuckers, these MC Hammers, these Ice Teas, these Ice Cubes, all these ices, Ice Baby. How can you do this? How can you support? Look at these kids.
I'm not supporting them. I'm not supporting them, for Christ's sake. I hate rap. All right? Rap is crap. All right? I mean, if you would have been an avid listener, Mr. Palin, you would have known this. But instead, you're probably tickling your ass crack to some idiot named Fishing Bob out there in goddamn Alaska teaching you how to drill a decent hole in the middle of a lake so you can get some goddamn fish for your dinner. All right? If you were listening to the True Capitalist radio show, you would have known that I've been against this rap crap. I'm against this hip-hop nonsense. I mean, you need to stop throwing stones, son, or glass ice cubes, or whatever the hell you're throwing.
All right. Well, listen. After I'm done reading Trigger's story, I'm going to get on the Learjet, and I'm going straight to where the hell are you? San Antonio. I'm getting on.
I'm in Austin, Texas.
I'm going to meet you at the Alamo. I'm meeting you at the Alamo.
Don't insult me, you asshole. Don't insult me by claiming that I'm anything south of San Antonio or anything south of Austin, Texas. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't take a dirty diarrhea crap in San Antonio, Texas, for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ. It's the teen pregnancy capital of the world. Have you ever been out there, for Christ's sake? You got fat jelly asses waddling their fat asses up and down the street. I mean, I used to own a business out there, all right? I just sold a business that used to be out there in San Antonio, Texas. I mean, where do you think that one story that I always talk about when somebody comes into my goddamn store when I was visiting there, comes in with like 8 or 9 kids following their fat jelly ass up to the front. They get some piece of item. They're like, oh, yeah, baby, you understand? I see you got this item for like $10. I understand you got this item for like $10, but I only got $4. So I'm going to give you $4, and you're going to give me this, and everything going to be all right? And, of course, I look at this, waste of human life standing in my store trying to utilize my retail outlet as if it's the goddamn swap meet, and I look at it, I try to be as serious as possible and say, no, ma'am, you have to pay $10. It's a retail item. There's no negotiation. I mean, you have to pay the $10. And she looks at me like I just, took a dirty diarrhea crap on one of her children. She looks at me like, but you're not understanding, baby. My kids, baby. You're not understanding, baby. My kids. And I'm like looking at this bimbo like, it doesn't matter about your kids. You still got to pay $10. No, but you're not understanding, baby. I got $4. That's all I got, baby. I'll give you the $4. You give me this little thing right here. You understand what I'm saying? No, ma'am, I'm not going to do it. But my kids, baby. You're not understanding. It's not going through your head very well. My kids. Anyway, I didn't mean to get off on that tirade. I think we lost Todd Palin, by the way. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I mean, that was an exclusive there. I just didn't appreciate that this ass clown, said that I was that I was located anywhere else other than north or anywhere north of Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas, up north is the greatest country of all time. I love Texas, North Texas, West Texas, East Texas, but you go down to South Texas, oh Jesus Christ. I mean, you go down there, into, Corpus Christi, San Antonio, Laredo, Del Rio. You go down to the Valley, for Christ's sake. I mean, it is the colon of America, folks. The absolute colon of America. And anybody who says that I reside anywhere within those vicinities, I take that as an insult. All right, I mean, it's a freaking insult. Anyway, I think we lost Todd Palin here. Anyway, I didn't mean to get off on that tirade. Look, I'm not for Common here, all right? I mean, I know Todd Palin maybe got a little upset because, I was talking against Sarah Palin. I was talking against her because, she has no right to sit here and claim that anybody lacks class and decency. Class and decency. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, this is the same bimbo that, goes out here and worked her way up to the top by shaking her little ass and giving guys winks and, BSing him with mumbo-jumbo. I mean, you can tell by the way she answers questions that, she's never been put on the spot. She's never been asked to, prove herself or actually explain herself ever in her life. I mean, Jesus Christ. Anyway, I'm against this Common crap, and as a matter of fact, I mean, for all you folks that missed it, here is Common's little, here's his little poem that he sang or said or, whatever it was at the White House here. I think it's called Baracus. So, hey, engineer, put on Common's stupid little poem, for Christ's sake, so these milky lickers can hear it. Put it on!
World. So when I see them, I see my baby girl. The Lord lives among us. The youngest hunger becomes a means to get it by any ways necessary under pressure. Children feeling lesser with the still upon the dresser. Killer will aggressors, destiny's children, survivors, soldiers. In front of buildings, they eyes look older. It's hard to see blessings in a violent culture. Faced against weapons, sirens, holsters. That ain't the way that Langston Hughes wrote us. Soul controllers on the shoulders of Moses and Noah. We go from being precious to Oprah. Cultivated to overcome ever since we came over. Seize the day in a way that you can see to be determined. The solar keeps burning. Shorties know to keep learning. Lessons in our life are like stripes that we earning. I took Gramps' advice that Christ is returning like a thief in the night. I write for beacons of light. For those of us in dark alleys and parched valleys, street hits spark rallies of the conscious, conquerors of a contest that seems beyond us. Even through the unseen, I know that God watches. From one king's dream, he was able to barack us. One king's dream, he was able to barack us. One king's dream, he was able to barack us. One king's dream, he was able to barack us. Thank you and God bless. I appreciate being here.
Get him off! Anyway, that was the poem said last evening at the White House poetry reading, Under one king's dream, they wanted to barack us, or whatever the hell it was. I mean, are you kidding me, for Christ's sake? All right? All right? I mean, let me tell you something right now, all right? This right here was blatant propaganda for 2012 campaign. This is why they invited Common. They weren't stupid. Common was there to, rally the leftist base, the leftist base that still believes that there's Poe in America, that still believes that Barack Obama's some kind of savior or some kind of crap like that. I mean, this is just pure propaganda, and it was a disgrace. It's disgusting. You know what I mean? Under one king's dream, he was able to barack us. One king's dream, he was able to barack us. Barack us? Barack us? I mean, Jesus Christ. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. You know what I mean? I mean, more black people are in poverty under the Barack Obama regime than I think even more than in Ronald Reagan's tenure, for Christ's sake. I mean, I'm seeing more and more ethnic minorities, and I don't mean to be picking on African Americans or blacks, but all ethnic minorities just kind of shitting out these children and blaming these children for collecting entitlements. You know what I mean? Anyway, I want to hear from you. 646-652-4869. What do you think about all this? talking about Sarah Palin calling gangster rapper Common's White House invitation a lack of class and decency, and we just heard, the One King's Dream, he was able to Baracus poem by Common there. I want to hear what you have to say about it. 404, what's up, man?
Yo, hey, Ghost. Yo, this has nothing to do with what you were just saying, but I was talking about with Barack Obama. See, what people need to realize is these kids online, they don't realize that. They always thought that maybe he'd be a smaller government guy, which was really naive of them. But he's definitely not for small government. This hasn't been much in the news because there's been a lot of things in the news recently, but he's been basically shutting down, well, not really shutting down, but raiding a lot of dispensaries for medical marijuana.
Oh, yeah, no, that's been in the news. I know exactly about that. As a matter of fact, Eric Holder, which is the Attorney General, reasserted the federal jurisdiction on a lot of these states that have legalized medical marijuana for medicinal purposes. And, this is supposed to be, Barack Obama, Mr. Liberal. He was supposed to come in. He was supposed to, he was supposed to do so much, but inevitably what happened? He gave the tax dollars to gave our tax dollars to corporate America and to save GM, GE, Lehman Brothers, Goldman Sachs, all these idiots. He gave stimulus package 2 money to all the cronies that donated to his campaign contribution account. And at the same time, he has implemented more and more regulation, more and more government than anybody else in my recent memory, and yet you still got these simpleton kids, these simpleton idiots, believing that he's, able to Barack us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The thing is, it's not about anymore. It's never really been like this, but it's not about liberal versus conservative. It's about big government versus small government. People go, I'll just vote. A lot of dumb Americans just will vote like they see a D next to the guy's name. Let's vote for that guy. But that's what gets us in the mess in the first place. Look at the people. Look at their issues that they have voted on, that they support or against. And it's not about Republican versus Democrat or conservative versus liberal. And what they want to do is get involved in everything. And people are blaming capitalism for all the problems. Well, it's not capitalism's fault. It's something that's been called crony capitalism, where the government gets involved in the market. And
absolutely,
that's where the problems lie. So
I've been trying to tell these people this, but they think that this is a great day in Mrs. Rogers' neighborhood. They think it's great that capitalists' tax dollars are being used and abused in this fashion, and they think that this nation can sustain itself, by doing this fiscal irresponsible way of delegating the goddamn tax dollars. And in my personal view, I think that we need to do some not only tremendous spending, but at the same time rectify the whole economy itself. I mean, when 35% of the American economy is comprised of people who basically collect entitlements and spend it. I mean, that's an actual market. 35% of the American market is entitlement recipient bastards. Compared to, what was it, 20 years ago? It was 10%. 20 years ago, 10%. And this is why we have such a discrepancy between rich and poor. This is why the middle class is being squeezed. Not to mention that we have Obama wanting to raise taxes on the middle class and on those that are deemed, so-called wealthy, in hopes of what? Giving more money to the people that are so-called po in America. I mean, the people that are po in America are living better than, I would say, at least 75% of the impoverished third world international community. And they have the audacity to sit over here and continue to think that they're po in America, for Christ's sake. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but every time I cruise some kind of impoverished area of the country, no matter what city, no matter what what particular racial or cultural makeup, whether it's white trailer park crackers, whether it's Mexicans in the barrio or blacks in the ghetto, I see countless fat people waddling their fat asses. And I think that's an insult to the world to sit over here and continue. And this goes to the liberals and anybody who touts that we need to continue with these entitlement programs. It is an insult to the world that's starving to death. that, we're going to continue to pussy pamper these so-called idiots that are in America when they're fat. And let me tell you, how can you be fat and be poor? It just doesn't make any sense. And people will try to make the argument, well, we're not giving them healthy food. I mean, do you think that the people in Zimbabwe, the people in Congo, the people in, these areas that are malnourished where you got skin and bones hanging off of their bodies, do you think that they'd give a flying crap about whether or not an artery-clogging triple cheeseburger was, quote-unquote, healthy for them,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I'm just saying, man.
They don't think about that. If they tried to eat one of those, their body would reject it. That's basically how malnourished and poor they are. These people can eat 5 of them at once.
I mean, I'm just saying, man, and thank you for calling, man. As a matter of fact, there's some good issues you bring up, but, I've tried and tried and tried to get it across a lot of the youth's head out here, but, unless it correlates with, Justin Bieber's, prancing his ass around the stage like he's got a hamster in his asshole, or, it comprises with something that, has to do with Miley Cyrus, Selena Gomez, or, Lady Gaga's hermaphrodite penis. They're not gonna, they're not gonna take it serious, They're not gonna take it serious whatsoever. Anyway, I want to move on to another subject matter. Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke is warning the government to stop playing politics with the debt ceiling. And I have to agree with Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke. I mean, this debt ceiling situation could legitimately throw us back, as a dominant economic force in the international community. I mean, we'll be defaulting on our debt, if we do not, to sustain this debt ceiling. Now, don't get me wrong. We do have to get fiscally responsible here. But if you take a look at the cutting measures that are proposed by the Republicans, they're no kind of help whatsoever. I mean, what did that Paul Ryan, that goofy-looking, Forrest Gump-looking somebody propose? He was out here, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to cut Social Security. But if you happen to be over the age of 55, don't worry about it. You're going to have Social Security till you croak, all right? Everybody over the age of 55 is going to have Social Security till they croak. Now, the people that are under the age of 55, you're screwed. That's all there is to it. You're going to have to continue paying it, though, for the next 10 or 20 years. But you're not going to be able to collect it because, sorry. I mean, that's basically rewarding the people that caused the situation that we're in currently. You know what I'm saying? By sitting here and allowing Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare to continue to be a chunk of the working man's taxes is rewarding the people that put us in this political, economic, and social warped situation in America. I mean, that's all there is to it, man. And then you've got the Republicans out here trying to act like, oh, we're spending cutters. You're doing nothing, all right? I mean, these idiot Republicans and Tea Partiers that are in power today, they're giving themselves as much pork barrel spending as they possibly can. This is a disgrace, all right? And I'm glad the Federal Reserve Chairman is telling these idiots in Washington, hey, stop playing politics, asshole, and leave the monetary policy and leave the people that understand about money mechanics to do with what they need to do with, and stop making the goddamn job more difficult for the Federal Reserve, for Christ's sake. I mean, I hate how, you have all these conspiracy theorists out here that want to claim that, oh, it's the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve can't be trusted. The Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve. Are you kidding me? The Federal Reserve has no power. You need to reread the charter that was instilled in 1913. You know where the power lies in the Federal Reserve? The government and the people. And how is that possible? Well, the fiscal budgets that our government likes to, debate over every year. As a matter of fact, this, was it the fiscal year 2011 didn't get settled until what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, for Christ's sake? All right? The only thing the Federal Reserve does is make sure that the integrity of the currency is still intact, given the fact that, we have, this idiot government continuing to spend money out its wazoo, for Christ's sake. All right? I'm sick and tired of people saying, oh, the Federal Reserve's doing this, the Federal Reserve's doing that. It's an independent monetary regulator that answers to the American government and the American people. But if the American people fall asleep at the wheel and, they're not going to be politically responsible, well, then you leave the responsibility for economics or of economic policy, of economic regulations, of economic spending, of, taxation to this government. You understand? And this government is just spending. They're the ones printing the money. They're the ones initiating all these spending bills. They're the ones that are continuing this fiat run of government. It's them. It's the politicians. All the Federal Reserve does is try to somehow maintain the integrity of the damn currency while conducting itself amidst fiscal irresponsible government. I'm sick of hearing, all these people that are just, the Federal Reserve, they're evil, and they assassinated Kennedy, and all this dumb garbage, man. I mean, look, we've had central banks before in our past. As a matter of fact, our goddamn country there was founded on one. Well, it wasn't founded on one, but it eventually got one because it was one of Alexander Hamilton's ideas. I think you need to reread history. Alexander Hamilton believed in this because he knew, as well as anybody who's a fiscally responsible person, that if you leave the damn printing to the government is going to turn into Zimbabwe. All right? Let me tell you about Zimbabwe right now. They have no central bank. They let the government print out the money. And if you go down there, and as a matter of fact, you can YouTube this and Google this, there are rolls of toilet paper in Zimbabwe for like $45,000. Rolls of toilet paper for $45,000. Now, why is this? Why is this happening? Because they have nobody who is understanding of money mechanics and economics that can basically regulate the monetary systems to keep the integrity of the currency. So anyway, I want to hear from you. We were talking about Ben Bernanke warning the government to stop playing goddamn politics with the debt ceiling. I want to hear from you. 646-652-4869. Let's take some calls here. 305, what's up?
Ghost.
What's up, man?
How's it going, man? Listen, I wanted to bring something up. I like what you're saying about how our government is completely fiscally irresponsible, and it's just funny to me when you see people complaining that our education system isn't good enough, and everybody should have the right to universal health care, and everybody's kind of fighting for their own, self-interest, and what's funny is that we can help everybody if we weren't spending 63% of our budget on military and defense. And it's just so funny to me how I see everybody, feel like, okay, why can't we spend our money on this? Why can't we spend our money on that? And, it's like a huge elephant in the room, but nobody's looking at it. It's 63% of everybody's money goes to military and defense.
No, well, that's something I agree with. I think that we need to do some cutting or at least some auditing of the damn Defense Department and the military-industrial complex. But we also have to recognize America's contribution to the world. I know there's a lot of people that like to be critical of America, that, we're just evildoers, we go in, we meddle, whatever, the police of the world, whatever they want to call us. But nobody has done more in world history to bring modernity, to bring prosperity, to bring a new way of life to people throughout the international community than America. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that we have looked at empirical evidence. And if we just become, some Ron Paul isolationists and just decide we're going to be our own country, when all the disorder that's happening now, that it still would have happened whether we meddled into the international community's affairs or not, you still would have had terrorists, you still would have had despotic regimes, you still would have had all these people that had these, warped perceptions of them taking over the world. And if you just stay complacent, just like we did in World War II, just like what happened in World War I, if you stay complacent, these theaters of combat end up basically spreading throughout the international community. You know what I mean? They spread throughout the world. So, to sit here and say that, I get it. 63% of GDP for military-industrial complex is kind of extensive, but once again, we have to blame our politicians for that. But secondly, I believe that we have to have a strong military so that not only can we repel any kind of opposition of terrorism or nation states, but at the same time implement modernity throughout the international community like we've done thus far. I think that in the end, if everything's implemented right and private enterprise can remain autonomous from government, and government can remain itself an umpire as opposed to Big Brother, I think that, history will show that America was one of the most selfless countries ever to hit the planet, in my personal opinion. And a lot of contributing factor to that is the fact that we went out and, brought modernity to the world. And, I know there's a lot of people that want to disagree with this, but these are people that are holding on to primitive concepts. These are people that are holding on to these ideas that, I'm going to fight for this border that was made by man. Or, I'm going to fight for my culture because my culture has a bigger wee-wee than your culture. Or, I'm going to die for this political romantic idea of collectivization and the idea of this communism. I mean, we need to stop with these primitive concepts. And that's the only way that, we can genuinely reduce the military's expenditures down to 10, 15%. But unfortunately, it's not going to happen. And, the reason that you're seeing all these uprisings, the reason that you're seeing a lot of the destabilization of the world is because people are starting to realize that a lot of these movements that they followed, whether it's religious, whether it's worker, popular movements, whatever, they're starting to realize that they've been betrayed. They've been hoodwinked. They've been bamboozled, and now they're looking for something better because they're seeing the world through, mechanisms like the internet, mechanisms like television. They're looking at the world with all these glitzes and glamours and, riches and wealth and technology, and they're wondering why they aren't participating in that. They can't understand why they can't have that. And the reason that they can't have that is because they need to understand through their own organic grassroots level that they have to implement it themselves. They have to want, modernity. They have to want to embrace the global economic model. They have to want to be able to rid themselves of the bondage of culturalism, religion, political romanticism, nationalism. I mean, they need to rid themselves of these chains of bondage that has done nothing but cause the autodetermination of humanity and nothing but human strife. And until we end all these ridiculous primitive concepts, we're going to continue to see the habitual devastation that we have seen that has stained the halls of history with human blood. We're going to continue to see this unless us, the capitalists, start recognizing our position of authority and start forcing these governments to start modernizing the masses. Because if the masses continue to stay ignorant, if the masses continue to stay complacent, if the masses continue to multiply without any kind of production, then we face the possibility of taking ourselves out. Yeah, we face the possibility of taking ourselves out. And I know there's a lot of people that want to disagree with this. There's a lot of people that think that we can feed every mouth that's born in the world today. And that's just not right. I mean, that goes against nature, all right? The only people that should be able to live on this earth are those that are able to survive, those that are able to contribute to civilization, to modernity. I mean, those are the individuals that should be championed, that should be promoted, that should be highlighted in society. But instead, what's highlighted in most societies today? What's highlighted? Oh, look, this poor little woman over here, she has 8 kids with no fathers. Oh, let's just go ahead and give her like $10,000 a month. Oh, look, this guy's a drug addict. Oh, he's a drug addict. Let's give him a free trip to rehab at some cush little rehab center off the coast. And if he goes again and relapses, let's give him some government-funded free hypodermic needles. I mean, this is the kind of crap that I'm talking about, this warped idea of liberalism, this warped idea that we can save every human being, that we are supposed to feed every human being, that we're supposed to clothe every human being, and that goes against the very foundation of nature. And I wish that the simpletons could understand that. Now, I'm going to take a break here, but before I do, this very day, I guess it was 2 years ago, maybe even longer than that, I don't even know, but George Carlin died today on this day, and George Carlin was one of my favorite comedians. You didn't really have to agree with him all the time, but the guy was just, unbelievably cynically hilarious, while at the same time the man made you think. And one particular piece that I'm going to air here is something that he'd like to call, or the piece was called Save the Planet. Saving the Planet. Now, I'd like for everybody to please listen to this little tirade by George Carlin in remembrance of this man who died on this day. I want you to listen to this, and I want you to listen to this clearly, okay? Because what I'm saying is not a lie, all right? All these people that continue to multiply like rabbits, all these people that don't make any contributions to world civilization, their only contribution is turning perfectly good food into shit. That's the only contribution. And the bad part about it is the shit they take has more of a contributing factor to the elements of this world than they do. At least their shit can bring in new vegetation. It fertilizes the ground. It brings in new life. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is why I'm saying that you cannot think with this warped liberal perception that we need to hold hands and sing Kumbaya and save the world. The only people that should be saved are those that can save themselves. And let me tell you, this is why I've been saying, anytime there's a natural disaster, anytime there's an earthquake or, any of these natural disasters that have been afflicting us, these abnormal atmospheric disturbances, I have been alluding to the fact that it's the earth trying to tell us that, get the hell up off me, all right? Get the hell up off me. You people aren't contributing anything. You're multiplying like rabbits and raping the natural resources, for Christ's sake. I mean, give me a break. Anyway, let's put that George Carlin clip on. I mean, once again, today George Carlin died. For all you kids that don't know who he is, my God, go ahead and look it up, all right? Because, he was a pretty good comedian, not to mention you might learn something. Anyway, engineer, throw it on. Throw on that George Carlin.
You got people like this around you. Country's full of them now. People walking around all day long, every minute of the day, worried about everything. Worried about the air, worried about the water, worried about the soil. Worried about insecticides, pesticides, food additives, carcinogens. Worried about radon gas, worried about asbestos. Worried about saving endangered species. Let me tell you about endangered species, all right? Saving endangered species is just one more arrogant attempt by humans to control nature. It's arrogant meddling. It's what got us in trouble in the first place. Doesn't anybody understand that? Interfering with nature. Over 90%, way over 90% of all the species that have ever lived on this planet, are gone. They're extinct. We didn't kill them all. They just disappeared. That's what nature does. They disappear these days at the rate of 25 a day. And I mean regardless of our behavior. Irrespective of how we act on this planet, 25 species that were here today will be gone tomorrow. Let them go gracefully. Leave nature alone. Haven't we done enough? We're so self-important. So self-important. Everybody's going to save something now. Save the trees, save the bees, save the whales, save those snails. And the greatest arrogance of all, save the planet. What? Are these fucking people kidding me? Save the planet? We don't even know how to take care of ourselves yet. We haven't learned how to care for one another. We're going to save the fucking planet? I'm getting tired of that shit. Tired. I'm tired of fucking Earth Day. I'm tired of these self-righteous environmentalists, these white bourgeois liberals who think the only thing wrong with this country is there aren't enough bicycle paths. People trying to make the world safe for their Volvos. Besides, environmentalists don't give a shit about the planet. They don't care about the planet. Not in the abstract, they don't. Not in the abstract, they don't. You know what they're interested in? A clean place to live. Their own habitat. They're worried that someday in the future they might be personally inconvenienced. Narrow, unenlightened self-interest doesn't impress me. Besides, there is nothing wrong with the planet. Nothing wrong with the planet. The planet is fine. The people are fucked. Different. The planet is fine. Compared to the people, the planet is doing great. It's been here 4.5 billion years. Did you ever think about the arithmetic? Planet has been here 4.5 billion years. We've been here, what, 100,000? Maybe 200,000? And we've only been engaged in heavy industry for a little over 200 years. 200 years versus 4.5 billion. And we have the conceit to think that somehow we're a threat? That somehow we're going to put in jeopardy this beautiful little blue-green ball that's just a-floating around the sun? The planet has been through a lot worse than us. Been through all kinds of things worse than us. Been through earthquakes, volcanoes, plate tectonics, continental drift, solar flares, sunspots, magnetic storms, the magnetic reversal of the poles, hundreds of thousands of years of bombardment by comets and asteroids and meteors, worldwide floods, tidal waves, worldwide fires, erosion, cosmic rays, recurring ice ages, and we think some plastic bags and some aluminum cans are going to make a difference? The planet isn't going anywhere. We are. We're going away. Pack your shit, folks. We're going away. And we won't leave much of a trace either. Thank God for that. Maybe a little styrofoam. Maybe. Little styrofoam. Planet will be here and we'll be long gone. Just another failed mutation. Just another closed-end biological mistake. An evolutionary cul-de-sac. The planet will shake us off like a bad case of fleas. A surface nuisance. You want to know how the planet's doing? Ask those people at Pompeii who are frozen into position from volcanic ash how the planet's doing. Want to know if the planet's all right? Ask those people in Mexico City or Armenia or 100 other places buried under thousands of tons of earthquake rubble if they feel like a threat to the planet this week. How about those people in Kilauea, Hawaii, who build their homes right next to an active volcano and then wonder why they have lava in the living room? The planet will be here for a long, long, long time after we're gone, and it will heal itself, it will cleanse itself, because that's what it does. It's a self-correcting system. The air and the water will recover, the earth will be renewed, and if it's true that plastic is not degradable, well, the planet will simply incorporate plastic into a new paradigm, the earth plus plastic. The earth doesn't share our prejudice towards plastic. Plastic came out of the earth. The earth probably sees plastic as just another one of its children. Could be the only reason the earth allowed us to be spawned from it in the first place. It wanted plastic for itself. Didn't know how to make it. Needed us. Could be the answer to our age-old philosophical question, why are we here? Plastic. Assholes. So, the plastic is here. Our job is done. We can be phased out now. And I think that's really started already, don't you? I mean, to be fair, the planet probably sees us as a mild threat, something to be dealt with. And I'm sure the planet will defend itself in the manner of a large organism, like a beehive or an ant colony can muster a defense. I'm sure the planet will think of something. What would you do if you were the planet trying to defend against this pesky, troublesome species? Let's see. What might... viruses. Viruses might be good. They seem vulnerable to viruses. And viruses are tricky, always mutating and forming new strains whenever a vaccine is developed. Perhaps this first virus could be one that compromises the immune system of these creatures. Perhaps a human immunodeficiency virus, making them vulnerable to all sorts of other diseases and infections that might come along. And maybe it could be spread sexually, making them a little reluctant to engage in the act of reproduction. Well, that's a poetic note. And it's a start. And I can dream, can I? Can't I worry about the little things? Bees, trees, whales, snails. I think we're part of a greater wisdom than we will ever understand. A higher order. Call it what you want. Know what I call it? The big electron. The big electron. Whoa. 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 It doesn't punish. It doesn't reward. It doesn't judge at all. It just is. And so are we. For a little while. Thanks for being here with me for a little while tonight.
You're listening to Ghost on True Capitalist Radio. True Capitalist Radio.
Yeah, what's up? We're back. Once again, there was a little bit of George Carlin on this day. He died. So we want to commemorate that man and his, insightful, witty contributions to the comedic arts, if you will. Anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. I want to say cheers to everybody out there who's listening in. I just poured myself some goddamn Johnny Walker Blue Label. I've been drinking the hell out of this crap, and, it looks like I'm almost out of it. But you know what? I don't give a damn. Anyway, let me go ahead and take a swig of this. Let's take some calls here. Anyway, I want to move on to another subject matter. We were talking about how Ben Bernanke's warning the government to stop playing politics with the debt ceiling. Now I want to talk a little bit about Ron Paul, who said in an interview that he would not have ordered the bin Laden raid. And on the contrary, in the same radio interview, he also stated that he would have gotten Pakistan's permission. He would have actually went to Pakistan and said, I just want to, know and just see if I can go into your country and, go out there and see if we can just shut up! I mean, are you kidding me, for Christ's sake? I mean, he was going to see if he can get, Pakistan's permission up in here, he was in the MIT of Pakistan, you idiot. He was out there in, in the middle of the ISI headquarters, for Christ's sake. Morons, man. Let me take another sip of this damn Johnny Walker Blue Label. I know all you idiots out there that are talking garbage to me in this damn chat room. Y'all are hating because, I got a $400 bottle of scotch and I'm sipping on it while you're sitting there, waxing your carrot until it's chafed. You know what I'm saying? And, I'm telling you, if you have your computer loud enough or your smartphone or however you're listening to me, if you have it loud enough and, there's any female within the vicinity, I guarantee you that not only is she creaming out her pants, but she's going to want to chew on my meat bag because she can't believe that there's actual, a real man throwing around manly dominance like it ain't shit. Anyway, let me go. I'm just joking, of course. 646-652-4869. I want to hear what you have to say about Ron Paul over here. Let's take some callers, shall we? 111. What's up, man?
Hello, Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, nigga, you better tell your brother Marcus to give me my motherfucking money tomorrow. I swear to God, that nigga was supposed to have my money today, and he ain't got my motherfucking money.
Yeah, brother?
Hey,
oh, yeah, brother? Yeah, he ain't got your money? Well, let me break it down to you like that. Hey, engineer, put the music on, baby. Yeah. You want some of this, baby? Let me break it down to you like this, baby. You don't want none of this, all right? I always walk around strapped, baby. You understand what I'm talking about? Going straight up in the hood. I'm just sitting over here talking all this yin-yang to me, baby. I'm sipping on a 40-ounce right now, baby. Sipping on a 40-ounce, eating a Kit Kat. Yeah. What you got to say now, baby? What you got to say?
Nigga, your mama's so fat when she fell in love, it broke.
Oh, what, you want to do your mama joke? Is that what you want to do? Hold on. Turn the music off, engineer. Turn the music off. This fool want to do your mama joke. Do another your mama joke. We didn't hear that because the damn music was too loud. What'd you say, your mama? What? Your mama. What'd you say?
I said, your mama's so fat, when she fell in love, it broke.
Are you kidding me? That's all you got, man? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you fat?
Oh, my God. You couldn't rip off something better than that, man? Jesus Christ. How about, hey, man, your mama's so dumb, it take an hour to cook minute rice, baby. You understand what I'm saying? Man, what you got to say about that, baby? Yeah, your mama's so dumb, she's trying to light a fire. Yeah, shut your ass. Shut up, I'm talking. Your mama's so dumb, she's trying to light a fire with bricks, baby. You understand what I'm saying? Your mama's so dumb, she tried to drown a goldfish, baby. Your mama's so dumb, she tried to sit on the TV and watch the couch, baby. You understand what I'm saying? What you got to say now, homeboy?
I said, your mama's so fat, she used a ruler to see how long she slept.
Jesus Christ, man. You a dumb motherfucker. You kidding me, man? You sitting over here talking all that yin-yang, and that's the best you can come up with, man. Get the shit out. Get him off! Anyway, sorry. I didn't mean to, conjure up the spirit of the ghetto guy there. But, of course, you've got these prank callers that call in, trying to, I don't know what they're trying to do. I'm just trying to make them look lower than a leprechaun's nutsack, and I pretty much have. So anyway, let's take another call here. We got, who is this? S-Man? S-Man, are you there?
Yeah, man, how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, man, I had a point to make. I heard you brought up the whole Greece situation earlier on.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I was at a barbecue and managed to fuck a Greek chick from the barbecue.
You used to bang Greek chicks from a barbecue? Are you sure there were chicks and not trans testicles there, you fruity little fish and chips butt lover? Huh? Get the hell out of here. Get him off! I mean, does anybody here want to talk about this Ron Paul situation, for Christ's sake? I mean, Ron Paul said that he was not going to go in. If he was president, he wouldn't have gone in and did the bin Laden raid. He would have asked for permission from Pakistan and said, I just want to know if you left in your country. I just want to know if you left in your country. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I think we got Tony in Ohio to comment on this. Tony, you there?
Yeah, what's up, Ghost?
What's up, man? What do you think about the Ron Paul comment that not only would he be against the raid, but he would ask Pakistan for their permission?
Yeah, see, I read the story originally over at The Atlantic, which is a really liberal newspaper, because that was the first place it came out. And then I started reading around at different locations, and different people have different takes on the way he said it. Like, one of the people said that he was being sarcastic when he said we should have helped what he was trying to, let me put it like this, I'll read exactly what he said, and then I'll give you my take on it. Because at first when I read it sounded like exactly what you're saying, but then I read another story from somewhere else, and they took a different take on it. He said, I would suggest that the way that we got Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, we cooperated with Pakistan. They arrested him, actually turned him over to us, and he's been in prison. Why can't we work with their government? And I think he was being sarcastic. I think he's trying to say, look, we pay these dudes aid, and they're supposedly on our side, and yet they're hiding this dude in a garrison city in the middle of basically where they train their military. It's their West Point. And they had him on house arrest. I mean, this is clearly not a man who was guarded by dozens of men with AK-47s and body bombs. This was a guy who was like living in a mansion with minimal technology there, so he would be hard to trace, and had 2-3 people there that were guarding him, and their wives and children. And one of the guys was his son. So it was like, here's a guy who's on house arrest, most obviously. The government of Pakistan is most obviously complicit. They are not our allies. And I agree to the one extent that the raid should have been done differently. I mean, if the guy was able to be captured, I think it would have been advantageous for the American people and the American government to capture him. Not to say that we wouldn't kill him later. We would. But you put these bastards on trial like you do at the Hague with the Nazis, and you go ahead and you sit them there and you show the world how retarded and evil they are, and then you hang them afterward. Because that shows that we're different from them. We're not like them. We don't need to come in and just shoot them, unless we have to.
And let me tell you, I disagree with that. But once again, I'm not the president. But you see, the president advocates a scenario similar to you. I mean, he is much of a bureaucratic international institutionalist who wants to recognize things like the World Court, the Hague, the NATO, the United Nations, these types of international institutions. The problem is that now this raid that he called, which is kind of Bush-esque to say the least, which has kind of been put on the back burner of most media outlets, that this raid was definitely George W. Bush-esque. And now that it looks, according to all accounts, I mean, I've read reports, out of Pakistan, I've read reports that have come out of the United States, UK, and all the reports, speculate that what happened to Osama bin Laden was an execution-style murder. An execution-style murder. Now, this is probably one of the main reasons why we are not seeing a death photo of Osama bin Laden, because that's exactly what they were supposed to do according to Barack Obama's idea of what international institutionalism is. He's embraced it. But now he's got his foot in his mouth because his raid order allowed for the execution murder of Osama bin Laden instead of actually going to the Hague, going and doing this nonsense. And now I think, if you want my personal opinion, that maybe Barack Obama and elements within his administration may be concerned for their own, legal well-being post-presidency of Barack Obama. I mean, they're already talking about trying to put international charges of war crimes against Dick Cheney and George W. Bush. Well, this can, have a flip side effect on this Obama raid as well on Osama bin Laden, because the reason that he's not going to release, and I'm starting to speculate that he is dead now. At first I was like, I wanted to see the pictures. He's not dead. But now it's starting to come clear why he's starting to be kind of apprehensive on the information, because it can be evidence at some point. And let me tell you something. The Hague will try you. They're trying some Nazi and convicted him. The bastard's 95 years old in a wheelchair, and they're still convicting him. So they will wait, even if you're an old bag, to try you with war crimes. And let me tell you, under the Geneva Conventions and under the international laws that are supposed to be obliged by those that recognize the Hague Court, what Obama did, in this raid, and according to the evidence hasn't come out yet, and it's not going to come out. This was an execution-style murder of an unarmed man, and this is according to Osama bin Laden's wife. According to them, he went out like a bitch. He was like, "Please don't kill me. Don't help me." And they, execution-style murder shot him. So, all I'm saying is that Ron Paul, at this point in time, is starting to act more, like Obama. This is what Obama should have done if he was the true liberal. And this is why I've always said that Ron Paul's a liberal there, Tony. I know you disagreed with me there for many years, but he is. Why are you going to recognize the nation-state of Pakistan? And I read that same Atlantic article. That's the article that I'm quoting there, is, stating that, he wouldn't have went in and gotten bin Laden. He would have gotten Pakistan's okay first, and that's about it. And anyway, the point I'm getting at is that either way, the way that Barack Obama implemented this raid and the way that Ron Paul is describing how he would do it are both wrong. And in my personal opinion, I think that, if anything, we should have, bombed the place. We should have done something where we could have had plausible deniability.
Look, we got to have a foreign policy that makes sense, right? And I understand what your drawbacks are about whatever Ron Paul said or how he said it or whatever. But here's my whole problem with, and I'm not saying international law, but I'm saying look at the Constitution. Look at what we're allowed to do to people, and we're not allowed to we're not allowed to execute them. It's not in the Constitution. You can go ahead and go after pirates and stuff like that, but that's what I want to say is this a war is this a real war? Is it like we've declared on Al Qaeda? No, it's not a real war. We're not after a particular country. We're after a whole bunch of countries basically that all harbor these terrorists, and most of them are receiving aid from us. So we got to untangle this mess. And if you just listen to what I think a good foreign policy is, you tell me if there's something wrong with this. We mind our own business. We don't welfare the world and military on our grandchildren's backs with money we're borrowing from China and printing into inflation to steal savings from us now. We go ahead and just play self-defense. And if somebody steps out of line, then we do what I call, and I know you're probably going to hate the name of this, but I say it jokingly, of course, pimp smack foreign policy. You go in, you destroy their government, all their landmarks. You don't go after their infrastructure per se unless you have to strategically. You let that, you don't try to destroy their economy, blah, blah, blah. And you go ahead and you just attack it, and then you leave. And people say, well, what about the void? What about the people? Their women can't vote. Who cares? It's not they're our enemy. They're the ones that harbored the terrorists. Next time they'll pick a better government, or we'll come back with another strong pimp hand and put it to them again. And we'll keep doing it until they pick a leadership that's not outwardly aggressive and doesn't harbor people who are. And that's how you, I think, in a libertarian sense, would run a foreign policy. It's a vicious foreign policy. It's not a weak foreign policy. It's when you strike immediately and then you leave. You don't nation build. Because I want to point out that we got him in Pakistan with a precision strike. We didn't get him with a 10-year nation-building project in Afghanistan. That whole 100,000 soldiers that's in Afghanistan right now aren't chasing bin Laden anymore. They're chasing 50 Al-Qaeda guys, one of whom we've put his face on TV. Nobody really cares. You know what I mean? So it's like, why isn't this over? Why aren't
I agree. Okay, I agree about the war being over. I can disagree with you, though, about your foreign policy. Me personally, I understand that, because of the synergy of telecommunications and the convergence of television, internet, telephone systems, radio, the whole 9 yards. This convergence has, brought the world a lot closer together. I mean, I'm listened to throughout the world. I've got people from all over the world who call, who email, who are members of the capitalist army. I mean, the whole 9 yards. So to sit here and make an assumption that we can go out and have a foreign policy where we can go out and pimp slap a country and dismantle their government and then leave, it only is going to build animosity towards that nation state that kind of, does a blitzkrieg and just kind of leaves a country alone. Now, I understand that, nation building is not necessarily always applicable when it comes to theaters of combat. And I'll agree with you that in Afghanistan, I think that we should have been going a long time ago. I've been saying this for years. But unfortunately, we, for some reason, continue to stay there. And just like you said, I think the reason that we're there, not necessarily for Al-Qaeda anymore, but as a positioning against Pakistan. I mean, Pakistan, by this move of them holding bin Laden right in the middle of the west point of the military of Pakistan, which proves that they not only are complicit, but they're aiding and abetting this man, even when they're supposed to be showing us that they are somehow allies of the war on terror. Not to mention that we've given them, $20 billion to Pakistan, for Christ's sake? I mean, it's just ridiculous. In my personal opinion, now that we got bin Laden, I think that there is a reason to stay. I think there is a reason to stay and at least, build a base out there. I don't agree that you're going to implement democracy in Afghanistan. I mean, Afghanistan is going to be tribal. Do you know that they actually have a fighting season in Afghanistan? Can you believe that, Tony? They have a fighting season.
Well, let me ask you a few questions here, because I understand what you're saying, and I think I agree with a lot of it. But the problem that I have with the foreign policy thing is, all right, if the objective is to go in and destroy the government that we're at war with, or who harbors terrorists that we're at war with, then why would you stay any longer than that takes? I mean, we won the Gulf War the first time in 72 hours, and then we left, and it seemed like we pretty much did what we needed to do. Now, do we have to go back again? Sure. And do I think maybe we should have took out Saddam the first time so we didn't have to deal with it again? Sure. I don't think they went far enough, but they should have still left as soon as it was done. I mean,
well, I think that what I'm talking about is a more broader conception of what I'm trying to get across here. I mean, the motive of a nation-state like America, which is the superpower of the world, is more than just that of being a bully and being able to pimp slap a country and destroy its government systems. I mean, I think that, we've seen through empirical evidence that, one who conducts, some type of ruthless foreign policy of this nature always has animosity and resentment that is deep-rooted in these countries that are pimp-slapped, for a lack of a better term, by the superpower of the time. And these roots in hatred and animosity become traditional. And this is why you have, such an auto-determined humanity continuing to perpetuate this habitual scene of violence that we've seen throughout mankind. And in my personal opinion, I think that America and other Western civilizations in the international community are in the position and have the means and should have the ethical base to do so, to not only, rectify a government's despotic regime, not only to, possibly quash an enemy, but also to understand that if we leave a people vulnerable, they're only going to replicate the same thing that got them there. And I think an element of responsibility that the United States has taken, and whether it's right or wrong, I don't know how you can interpret it. Some instances is right, some instances can be debatable. But in my personal opinion, nation building, and I don't like to use the word nation building, but, aiding the people into modernity will not only help America, but it'll help the whole global community. Maybe not in our lifetime. I'm hoping in our lifetime, but we have a lot of hurdles to battle in an attempt to bring in people into modernity. A lot of the people in the world are ignorant. They can't read. Some of them believe in, superstitions and, religious doctrines and political romanticism and, culturalism. nationalism. They have all these isms that's motivating them so much that they would die for. And in my opinion, I think that's what America and westernized countries are attempting to quash in their attempt to bringing modernity throughout the international community. And let me tell you, us as capitalists, we should embrace this, but at the same time, we have to take our own initiative. We have to make sure that these governments don't become the overlords, via the military-industrial complex of the masses in general. And look, the masses are just pawns, to be honest with you, because, anybody who doesn't care about, their political, social, or economic responsibility, they're pawns. So whatever happens to them, they should stop pissing and moaning. But when it comes to the capitalists, it is time for us worldwide to start asserting our dominance, because we finance these people. We finance these governments. We finance the military-industrial complex. We finance all things that government does. And for government to sit here and utilize, the military-industrial complex, the attempt at a compartmentalized police state, in an attempt to not only quash the masses, which there could be a debate that is plausible to do so, but to the capitalists themselves. They're trying to classify capitalists in the same category as these masses, and that is not the case. Capitalists and capitalism are ones that brought in civilization into modernity. That's what capitalism has done to the world. We brought in modernity to the world. The only problem is there's so many hurdles. There's so many different groups, so many old world primitive concepts that don't want to die. They don't want to go into the halls of antiquity, that have to be forced, kicking and screaming. And I think that's an element of what Americans' foreign policy has been, since we won World War II, Tony.
All right, well, let me just say this. Look, one, it's not our job to force them into modernity, because it's being done by borrowing from China and on our grandkids' backs, and it's welfaring the world, a military and a police force.
Well, you're talking
wait, let me make
talking two different subjects.
I'm trying to...
You're talking economic, fiscal irresponsibility with foreign policy. These are two different subject matters, man. I agree. If you listen to my show, I don't believe that we should be borrowing from China. I don't believe that we should be continuing to sell U.S. treasuries to continue to print money. I've been saying this for a long time. But at the same time, it's our government and us as American people. We have left the general American masses in charge of the government. All right, and they've elected these scumbags. They've elected these politicians, and these politicians are conducting themselves the way they're doing it, and we're not doing anything about it. So if the American people are complacent, and if the American government is going to do what it's doing, then is it really wrong? And this is a contradiction of this society at this point in time. This is what's going to jeopardize this country. This question on whether or not the masses should have the right to be political or not. Because let me tell you something right now. The masses as we see it today, are the problem, in my personal opinion. The ability for the masses to participate in the political process is the problem. I think that we need a prerequisite before anybody participates in the political process. And one easy, simple solution to this is forcing anybody who wants to participate and go into that voting booth, forcing these people to show some kind of a tax return. Show that, hey, did you contribute to the tax system? Well, then, yeah, I guess since you paid for this government, then you should participate in the political process. But we haven't done that, Tony, and I agree, man. You sound like, we've had discussions before. I agree with you, but you're giving too much credit to general humanity. And that's the unfortunate libertarian spirit, is that you think that the genuine essence of humanity is good. It is not. Empirical evidence has shown that humanity is nothing more than a savage. And the only time it comes out of that savagery of the jungle is when it's brought into modernity. And there's a big, huge process. We've seen, you can take a look at all the modern countries. It's taken long, hard times and trials and tribulations. to go into modernity. Anyway, go ahead. I'll let you finish your thought, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right. All I'm saying is that we can't force them into modernity on top of the fact we can't afford it. The first is that we can't afford it. Second of all, if we even could afford it, it's not doable. That doesn't take like that. Put it like this. You cannot take people who know for a fact they could double their economy just by letting women have rights to property and work, and they won't do it, and take them and think that they're going to become free or somehow capitalist, or it's just not going to happen. It has to happen organically. It's not even to our advantage to help them. It's just welfaring them something they need to do for themselves. We need to step back, let them handle their own problems, and look, like with Israel, right? Everybody thinks that, like we're the end-all, be-all of Israel. They're surrounded by Arab countries that hate them, true enough, but none of them have nukes. They do. So why are we handling it all the time? Why are we involved? Why do we need bases to defend Germany from a country that doesn't exist anymore, the USSR? Why are we still in South Korea when there's 30,000 troops or so there, I think it is, and they're like a speed bump to the North Korean army. It's basically a way to get us involved in a war. They'll all get killed, and then we'll get drawn in. It's not there to protect the South Korea, who, by the way, has 10 times the economy or more on a given, depending on what year you're talking about, of North Korea, and has a way larger population and can fund both with treasure and blood their own defense. We're welfaring the world a military is my problem with it. It's not so much that I don't mind being a world power. It's not, when I say pimp smack foreign policy, I mean people who are a direct threat to us. I don't care what happens to everywhere else. I don't. In like World War II, like you said, we took on a different role. But guess what? Germany declared war on us. We didn't declare war on them. We didn't just go out and police the world. They declared war on us after we declared war on Japan. That's their stupid fault. We would have left them alone if they'd have left us alone.
No, and I agree with you, Tony. And once again, I want to thank you for calling, man, because time is dwindling here. But once again, I just want to reiterate on the point that you just left. Yeah, World War II, we didn't do anything. We were isolationists until they declared war on us. But then when they declared war on us and we won the war, we found ourselves in a position where, hey, we're no longer, just some offshoot country at the end of the pond. We are now the superpower. And if we just kind of, sit there with our pecker shafts in our hand and think that, the world is going to somehow be okay through organic fashion, the history proves otherwise. All right? History proves otherwise. So I don't want to get on this subject matter. I want to thank you, though, for calling, man. There's a lot of people listening in. Pretty good debate. Tony in Ohio, avid listener, avid caller. Thank you once again for calling, man. I want to get through these other subject matters, man, because I don't think we're going to get through them all. But I want to talk a little bit about how Egypt and the situation it's in, thanks to Whale Ghanem. And, I've been trying to tweet that stupid sorry sack of, crap every time I can. Every time I hear bad news about Egypt, I tweet this stupid former Google executive. Every single time about, it's his fault, I mean, this is a guy who's a Google executive, not even Egyptian, goes into Egypt, manipulates a primitive country who is trying to emerge itself out of third world status. He manipulates these people through first world communication systems like Facebook and Twitter and all these other computing type devices. And these idiots actually believed this guy, and they went out there and rioted in the goddamn streets. And what makes me even sick, all right? What makes me even more sick is that the media, the American media, actually covered this stupid, dumbass Egyptian revolution as if it was an actual revolution. It was a riot fest. I mean, there was Egyptian Yehudis, with goddamn machetes in their hand, going around pillaging and looting and raping women, for Christ's sake. I mean, they were breaking into their business. They were crippling their own infrastructure, for Christ's sake. And this American media at the time, I remember this crap. I remember it. These idiots were like, oh, this is a beautiful thing here in Egypt. They're fighting for themselves. They're fighting for their freedom. What a bunch of crap. The prognosticator of prognosticators, was the only one that was negative towards this Egyptian revolution, or so-called revolution. It was a riot fest. And the only reason I was against it because I knew there was no intellectual foundation backing up this Egyptian so-called revolution. It was all rabble-roused by some asshole named Whale Ghanem that should be held accountable for the unrest and all the losses and death and destruction that has happened in Egypt. And let me just give you a little bit of information on what's happened to Egypt. Over $3.5 billion in losses. $3.5 billion in losses since the riots. And now citizens live in more fear than ever over the spread of crime, over, the clashes between the Coptics and the Muslims. There's still wild Yehudis running around, still pillaging people. I mean, it's disgraceful, man. It's an utter disgrace what's happened. Utter disgrace. And Whale Ghanem over here has the audacity to, tout himself as some kind of digital revolutionary, when, he's already moved on. He's on to some other revolution now. He's already thought of Egypt as some kind of memory, even though he's named as most influential Time Magazine Idiot of the Year. And he's going to go to the gala. I'm sure he's going to wear a nice tuxedo. I'm sure he's going to have some, Wolfgang Puck or some kind of, five-star chef serve dinner out here. For what? He rabble-roused, man. If any one of us did that in any other country, we would be thrown in prison for life or be executed for treason. Jesus Christ. Anyway, 646-652-4869. Well, Ghanem, you got blood on your hands, you piece of crap. And as a matter of fact, once again, if you could tweet this idiot, all right? If you could tweet this idiot, here's his stupid, dumbass Twitter name right there, all right? You tell him I said he's got blood on his hands, he's responsible, and should be held accountable for all the discord and all the losses, death, and destruction in Egypt. It's his fault. Anyway, we got 49 minutes. I'm going to take a call here in just a second. I want to move on to another subject matter because, I think everybody pretty much knows about my issues with Egypt. We talked a little bit about the Greece protests over the austerity measures and how they're going out throwing Molotovs. We covered that earlier in the show. Screw the Greeks anyway, for Christ's sake. We got Syria continuing its crackdown on anti-government protesters. Over 800 dead since the crackdown, folks. I know that we've been covering this, but let me tell you, these people that talk about humanitarian situations, well, right here, this is a humanitarian situation in Syria, and death and execution-style murder should come to Bashar al-Assad, for killing so many people just so he can sustain his despotic freedom. You know what I'm saying? So, death to Bashar al-Assad. Anyway, NATO strikes Muammar Gaddafi's compound as after he appeared on television as if he had a 15.5-inch long head or something. Yeah, he went out there with that stupid, dumb, toga, whatever the hell he wears. You know what I'm saying? That stupid toga that he wears. He's out there. The man in the morning, the man in the morning. He's out there doing all this crap for Christ's sake. It's stupid. Anyway, after he got on TV in Libya, the NATO forces decided to bomb his compound again, and who the hell knows what's happened to him. You know what I'm saying? I also want to talk a little bit about the Uganda situation. Now, I know that people on Twitter were really concerned about this Ugandan law that was going to take effect where they were going to execute homosexuals. And according to reports, they've kind of held off on that law being passed because of the uprising and the outcry on the internet. But it's not dead in the water just yet. And not to mention that Uganda itself is having its own political turmoil. The Uganda president, his name is Yoweri Museveni. He was sworn in today as the president of Uganda for the fourth term. This will make him 30 years as president, believe it or not, of the country of Uganda. And according to the polls and according to the reports of voting, he beat the opposition leader, which is widely popular in Uganda. I mean, he is widely popular in Uganda. I mean, he's becoming a spiritual leader. This man has been he's been tortured. He's been thrown out of the country. He's been exiled. He's been back into the country. I mean, this guy has withstood a lot of different political strife in his attempt at trying to throw a highlight on the contradictions that are happening in Uganda. And I'm talking about Kizza Besigye. Kiyasa Besigye is somebody that everybody should look up because, you're talking about an inspiring figure in the middle of Africa that's trying to bring about some kind of freedom, some type of civility to the 30-year tenure of Museveni. It's just an unbelievable story. I don't want to really get too much into it because I know that there's a lot of people that don't really care. But once again, I like to hear when you've got individuals trying to fight for freedom, trying to attempt to throw down despotic regimes. So much props. Long live Kizza Besigye, man. I hope they don't execute this guy. I know that they tried to not let him into the country, but he was able to get in. And as he got in and started protesting in the capital of Uganda, unfortunately, him and his protesters got, batoned. They had, the water spraying. All kinds of stuff. So anyway, I want to hear from you. What do you think? Do you know who Kizza Besigye is? This is a man who's definitely out for freedom, and we need to amplify and we need to highlight individuals like that throughout the international community. We've got Milk Chalk. What's up? Oh, Jesus Christ. We got 111 in the house. What's up?
Hey, Ghost, did you know that Lady Gaga's from Texas?
No, she's not, you stupid idiot. She's from New Jersey, you idiot. Making money, what's up? You stupid idiot. Who we got? We got Bill on the horn. What's up, Bill?
Hello.
Hey, Bill.
How you doing?
Give me a break. Dollar Bill, what's up?
Hey, go to your wife a fucking trap.
Man, we can't hear you, man. There's something wrong with your mic or something. Can you try to fix it?
Is your wife a fucking trap?
We can't hear you. We can't hear you because you're stupid. We're out there in the middle of nowhere. You probably don't even over here. We can't understand you. Moron. 408, what up?
What's poppin', Ghost? It's Goofy Bone.
Hey, what's up, Goofy Bone? Just give her a bone. What's up, man? It's good to hear from you.
Hey, Ghost, I've heard all your show today so far. It's a great one. A lot of great knowledge. And, basically, to tell you the truth, Ghost, is me being a taxpayer, I pay for cops, I pay for government, I pay for all this stuff. Because once you're on a certain tax bracket, they take a big fat chunk of your money. And I'm talking about, I'm in close to $100,000 range, as an independent contractor goes, because, I make straight commission. I'm not here to, get a little paycheck for a couple hours and then, get a commission. No, I work straight commission. And, the thing about it is that no matter how much I pay taxes, no matter how much I do this, how much I'm American or whatnot, the government still don't give a damn about me, Ghost. That's why I choose to be a capitalist. And I thank God for you and your ways of showing us true capitalists on how to live a better life, knowing the fact that we don't have to worry about the government. As long as we have the world in our hands, everything will be A-okay. Why? Because we know what's going to happen. Not what they're going to tell us what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen. But I just want to, give you a shout-out, Ghost, and also tell the people I'm back on the line. Check me out at www.blogtalkradio.com/goofy-bone. And I got my own show. Well, I've had a show on here, Ghost, but, I've been on vacation. But I just wanted to call in. I just want to call in and give you a shout-out, Ghost. I haven't called for a while. I've been too busy with these bimbos, and trust me, they're giving me a lot of problems that I wish, we could do something about. But, unfortunately, we just have to be nice and just say, hey, stop calling me. But
I hear you. Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up. Because we actually got a new sponsor, believe it or not. And I think it might be because of the talk that you do with the with the giver a bone and talking about all the broads you bang and that sort of thing. It's actually an STD testing sponsor, believe it or not.
Oh, right. That's what I'm talking about.
Believe it or not, let me take this time out to go ahead and give a props to the sponsor. Get Tested, STD Tested. If you have kind of abnormal growths on your genitals, or you happen to have some leakage to your orifices, if you got something that you know that you shouldn't have in that particular region, get tested right now. Find somebody that and this is a specific organization that deals in this. It's confidential. You'll be able to test yourself. It's no big deal. They've got all the information. Give them a call right now. All right. Give them a call right now, and the number to this, everybody get a pad and paper, because I know that there's a lot of sexually promiscuous individuals that are listening to this broadcast. I know there's a lot of young people, and you're going to come across this problem. Right now, you need to give them a call, 877-554-3066. All right, that number again is 877-554-3066. Get tested for any STD, syphilis, chlamydia, gonorrhea, herpes, warts, HIV, anything that you can think of, they'll get it. All right? Once again, 877-554-3066. Did you get that, Goofy Bone, just in case, man?
Hello?
Hey, Goofy. Yeah, did you get that just in case, man?
Oh, you know what, Ghost? I get tested every 3 months. I used to do it the 6-month thing, but then the doctor, told me since I have a lot of partners, you might as well do it every 3 months so you can be on top of things. So, yeah, I got my own money. I don't got no insurance, but I mean, the money that I get, a wonderful walk-in test is about a good $150, so it's really nothing to me, Ghost. But I'll keep that number in mind. If I'll have to write it down in the archives. I'm over here rolling the blunt because
I had a stressful day at work. No, that's cool, man. Hey, I'm gonna try to get done with all the other stuff I got on the agenda here, man. Thanks for calling up. You want to? What's up?
I wanted to give a shout out. One last website I need to promote: www.capitalistarmy.com. Join the army. Join the army that's going to make money and make moves throughout this lifetime. Understand what we're saying when we say we're capitalists. CapitalistArmy.com. Much love, Ghost. Have a good show.
No problem, man. Thanks a lot for calling. And once again, you heard him, folks. www.capitalistarmy.com. All right? That is the only social networking site specifically for capitalists. All right? And we're looking for a few good men and women that are capitalists out here. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're looking for a few good men and women, so please join it now, www.capitalistarmy.com. Anyway, just in case you missed our latest sponsor, I'm kind of excited about this sponsor, by the way. I mean, it's pretty unbelievable. But once again, get tested for STDs. They'll give you all the confidential information. They'll tell you where to go. They'll tell you, how to turn this stuff in. They'll tell you where to get treated. They'll give you some counseling if you're a little scared about, any potential STDs you may have. I know that, if you're potentially faced with this threat, it's a little scary. So give them a call, 877-554-3066. Anyway, let me go ahead and move on to another subject matter. We were talking about how Uganda is having some, civil discord out there because of the swearing in of the president, Yoweri Museveni, into his 4th term as president, which has made him president for 30 years. This will be 30 years as him president. And not to mention that the opposition leader, Kizza Besigye, and his supporters have taken to the streets, for a lot of different reasons, but many of which have been the corruption of Museveni and the rigging of elections, so on and so forth. So let's keep our eye on this situation in Uganda and, give our support to Kizza Besigye. I want to talk about Russia for a little bit. Now, Mother Russia over there seems to be a little bit of infighting amongst the bureaucrats out there. Yeah. You've got Dmitry Medvedev and which is the president of Russia, and then you got the Prime Minister, Vladimir Putin, are out here struggling for power. You know what I mean? I mean, Vladimir Putin is trying to organize, some kind of exclusive party within the little party that's supposed to be representing the government there, all right? And he's trying to organize a group of people to try to get Medvedev, the guy that he threw in there, he's trying to get him out of there. I mean, do you understand how bureaucrats are? I mean, he thought he could, be some puppet. He could bring in Medvedev, and he could be some kind of puppet or something. Medvedev's like, I'm going to take this opportunity and and just push out Vladimir Putin. I'm going to push him out. And let me tell you, we're seeing a power struggle in Russia, Medvedev versus Vladimir Putin, and I think that Medvedev has got a pretty good edge against Putin. Remember, Putin is still trying to hold on to that old world KGB mentality that he comes from. He's out there, banning freedom of the press. Trying to limit people's personal freedoms once again. So in my personal opinion, I think that Medvedev is, got a little bit more edge on the power struggle than Putin. And I think so. I think that, I sincerely hope that Medvedev pushes out Vladimir Putin or, conveniently puts him in an airplane that, crashes into a mountain or something because, Vladimir Putin's a complete moron. Complete moron, seriously. And not to mention, don't the Russian mob really run the political scene out there? The Russian mafia, they're running it out there, for Christ's sake. I remember they came out with some fat Russian politician and blackmailed him. He had some three-way with a couple of teenage Russian slut bags, and they used it to blackmail him to get out of the damn system of government or something. I mean, it's stupid. Anyway, keep your eye out on that. Another thing I also want to talk about, folks, is that Newt Gingrich, this fat bloated asshole, and if you don't know who Newt Gingrich is the guy who attempted to try to run some kind of Republican revolution in 1994 with him as the Speaker of the House. He was one of the leaders in the Monica Lewinsky scandal when attempting to persecute Bill Clinton during the Bill Clinton years when he turned the Oval Office into the Oral Office. And since then, since Newt back then was critical, he lied, he's an adulterer, he's a bastard, he's horrible. I mean, I'm Newt Gingrich, I'm the Speaker of the House, I can't believe he did that. And then some years after, what was it, in 1990, whenever I think Haskert got into the office, I think, as Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich, and come to find out, he was banging his intern. Not to mention, was he banging his intern? He married her! He married this bitch! So his current wife, that Newt Gingrich is going to run with, all right? Newt Gingrich is going to run for president, and he's going to have this bimbo next to him that he was banging on his desk as an intern. I mean, it's just, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. Let me take some calls here. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I want to hear from you. What do you have to say? We're talking about Newt Gingrich running for president. You going to vote for this piece of garbage or what? Anyway, we got Fred Sutherland on the horn. What's up, man?
Is your wife a fucking trap goat, you cunt?
Say that again. I can't understand. Say it one more time.
Is your wife a fucking trap?
Say it again.
I love you, goat.
Say it again. Come in my lucky charms, yeah, I killed them, but I killed them, Miss Lulcy, my girl. Keep doing it, Fred. We want to hear you. What are you playing? You're playing a bagpipe or something?
No,
Jesus Christ! What a sick bastard! You get this idiot! Get him off! Man, I'm putting some goddamn, Scottish or, Irish music behind this dumb, kilt-wearing drunkard. And what is this guy doing? He actually plays the goddamn bagpipe on the phone, for Christ's sake. I mean, give me a break. Jesus Christ. He's playing a bagpipe. You hear him? I mean, give me a break. 111, what up, man?
Coach, my genital herpes are flaring up.
Oh, they are? Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, maybe what you should do is, I'll tell you what you should do, okay? Where are they located exactly? Whereabouts?
Shaft.
On your shaft?
Yeah, right on my shaft.
Yeah. Well, what you should do is get something like called a meat grinder. All right. Get something called a meat grinder. Put your Peter Popper in there, and then just start cranking that thing like a son of a bitch. And what it does, it actually, gives those. Well, you'll find out for yourself. But just go ahead and do that. Anyway, that was lame. What do we got? We got 5 on it. What's up?
My thing's sound effects. Here's a T-Rex.
That's a major fail. Major fail, for heaven's sake. I mean, is there anybody out there with a personality? Hello? I mean, is this thing on, for Christ's sake? I mean, is there anybody else out there with a personality? Huh? Jesus Christ. Let me take a swig of this goddamn Johnny Walker Blue Label, for Christ's sake. All right, what else we got here? We got another 111. What's your excuse?
Hey, Ghost.
Yeah, what's up?
I'll trade you a Pokemon for a Charizard. Any Pokemon. I just need a Charizard.
Are you getting laid for this? I mean, I hope that the reason that you're this lame is because it's getting some bimbo off right next to you. I'm just trying to be optimistic, I'm just trying to be optimistic that, some bimbo is finding this funny and it's winning him brownie points, and he may, be able to, get his wet willy wet tonight because, he's trying to fall in line with that dry-witted Seth Rogen humor that everybody tries to shove down our holes out here. I mean, do you have at least a chick next to you? And if you do, can you please put her on the horn here? We want to talk to her.
Dude, I just gave you an anal pounding with no Vaseline. How do you feel?
Jesus Christ. I mean, another fail, man. Jesus Christ. You're using okay. Now you've listened to me so much that you're using lines that I do on the show, and trying to call me and regurgitate them on the phone. I mean, do you understand the simplicity of what we're dealing with out here in America? This is why I'm advocating that the American masses in general should not have the right to vote. You understand? They should not have the right to vote, for Christ's sake, man. The only people that should have the exclusive right to participate in the political process is those of us that are capitalist, those of us that actually contribute to the government, not these losers that are nothing more than detriments to society. I mean, listen to these people. They don't even have enough brain cells or intellectual curiosity to concoct a mental thought process of their own or something original to be funny on the goddamn internet. I mean, they're calling me saying my own crap. I mean... Oh, man, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, man. I just got so pissed off out here. I threw my goddamn laptop on the floor. I got this mess all over the goddamn place over here. Are we on the air? We got knocked off the air here for a second. Are we on the air? Can we get a thumbs up if we're on the air, for Christ's sake? I mean, I don't even know what's going on. I don't even know if I'm on the air, folks. Jesus Christ. I got this goddamn crap all over the place because these milky liquors pissing me off up in here, for Christ's sake. Anyway, folks, I'm sorry. Anyway, let me move on to another subject matter. I think we're on the air. I'm not sure yet, but I think that we're on the air. All right? Let me move on to another subject matter. Newt Gingrich is a piece of crap, and, if by some chance this guy is elected as the damn nominee for president for the right wing of the political perspective, it's only going to assure Barack Obama's re-election in 2012. It's only going to reassure it. So thanks, Newt, you fat contradicted bastard. Anyway, I want to talk about how Americans, this is how stupid Americans are in today's America. They're actually buying less food because, of course, we have a rise in prices in commodities, a rise of price of gasoline, so on and so forth. So instead of, maybe cutting back on going out, instead of cutting back on maybe, consuming on these electronic widgets from China, instead of consuming on these stupid, iPad apps and all this other crap, these idiots are buying less food. Can you believe this crap? Yeah. These idiots are actually buying less food so that they can go out and continue to buy these stupid electronic widgets, for Christ's sake. I mean, this is how pathetic America's being. They're starving themselves so that they can go out there and be like, yeah, look at me, I got the latest iPhone, baby. I got the latest iPhone, baby. This is what I got right here, baby. I'm working things out, baby. That's what I do. Yeah, you think I'm cool now with my new iPhone, right, baby? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They're withholding themselves nutrients, all right? They're withholding themselves food so that they can go out and buy a new electronic widget from goddamn, China, for Christ's sake. Anyway, I want to hear from you. 646-652-4869. Americans are buying less food, and instead of, saving the money and, doing something else with it, no, they're going out and they're buying electronic widgets, for Christ's sake. All right? All right, let me go ahead and take another call here, 646-652-4869. We got Army Steve in the house. Army Steve, you there? Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, what do I got, the fucking IRA here, for Christ's sake? What do I got, the IRA calling me up, for Christ's sake? A bunch of protestants and like, to go, they don't believe me, we don't like the way you're talking about that Ireland, we're going to go out there and shove the Irish carbon up your ass, just shut up. Jesus Christ. All right, we've got This Is It on the horn. What's up?
Hello?
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, Ghost, are you good with the ladies?
I'm married, you stupid fruit bowl. Get this idiot off. Get him out! 111, you're on the horn.
Ghost, I'll trade you a blue eyes white dragon for a red eyes black dragon.
Yeah, shove it up your stupid, dumb, little fruit bowl anime-watching ass, all right? Jesus Christ. I mean, anybody who's over the age of, 10, and they're still watching anime, you should just, do the world a favor and mix, things like Vicodin and Xanax with alcohol and do that on a consistent basis for us, and that'd be great, all right? Who else we got here? We got K-Home Berserker. What's up?
Blood! 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 Kill! Kill!
I can't hear you. Can you speak up a little bit?
Blood
Can you speak up a little bit?
Split them open! Don't provoke me!
We can't hear you.
This is the last time!
We can't hear you. Anal passage?
Blood! Blood! Attack! Blood!
Hey,
jerk dick!
Hey, jerk dick! We can't hear you. All right, that's it. That's right. You better scream louder. Scream louder, boy! Scream louder and squeal like a pig! That's right. Squeal like a pig, boy. Anyway, not that anybody cares that Americans are eating less so they can go out and, buy electronic Chinese widgets. So let's just go ahead and move on to another goddamn subject matter, shall we? I'm going to talk about, for the next 20 minutes, and we only got a little over 20 minutes left here in the broadcast. I want to talk about these goddamn slut walks that are being organized not only across America, but across the world. I mean, you've got women in the international community throughout all over the globe that are organizing these slut walks. And for you people that aren't familiar with this, these women are actually, going out and they're creating these ideas of, social organization of a bunch of women that are going to dress scantily clad, show nipples and wet T-shirts and cleavage and ass cheeks and camel toe and all that other stuff. They're going to take to the streets with picket signs demanding that people call them sluts. You know what I'm saying? They are demanding that people call them sluts. Now, I just think that this is just... I mean, if the end of the world does begin on May 21st, of course, we're all speculating, right? Everybody's like, oh, May 21st is the beginning of the end of the world. If it is the beginning of the end of the world, God, please make it quick, all right? I mean, I understand why. If there is an end of the world kind of scenario, I can understand why it's happening. I mean, look at us. I mean, we're just heathens. I mean, it's just disgraceful, for Christ's sake. I mean, look at the people out here. Look at the people. I mean, sour scowls rule the world, for Christ's sake. I mean, haven't you noticed that these chicks that are growing up, they're getting older faster, and they're having to mangle their face with plastic surgery and all these prosthesis and all this crap, man. They're looking like burn victims, for Christ's sake. They're looking like burn victims. Now, let me tell you something right now. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. There is a slut walk that's being organized here in Austin, Texas. Yours truly is going to be out there on the front lines with the capitalist army writing back at me, boy. I'm going to have the capitalist army writing back at me, and we're going to be calling these sluts filthy whores. We're going to be calling them the Jezebels, the disgusting, disgraced disease holes that they are. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what we're going to do, and I advise everybody who's listening worldwide, if you are in disagreement, and this includes the women, too. I mean, the people that hurt the most, the people that are hurt the most with this whole embracing of being a whore and a slut and some, sexually promiscuous bimbo are the women that actually have the knowledge, on the women that actually have the skills, that have intellectual curiosity, the women that actually go out there and know things. They are being overlooked because these bimbos are out here flashing tits and ass. That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing. And let me tell you something right now. I am urging all those that are listening to, organize an anti-slut walk. And this is, of course, if you're having a slut walk in your area. Go out there and just confront these bitches. You don't necessarily have to be violent. You don't have to do anything. You just stand right across the street. Remember, they're protesting to be called sluts, They're protesting to be called a slut. So what you should do is go right across the street and start screaming at them with bullhorns and crap and saying, "You filthy bitch! You're a filthy slut! You're a disease hole! You're a dish rag whore! That's what you are! You're a dirty dish rag, disgusting, smelly, bad period smelling whore!" And just continue to throw these types of terminologies at these bimbos so that they can actually really feel what being a slut really means, because I don't think they understand what being a slut is. We got MTV glamorizing the idea for women to go out and hop from penis to penis to penis. I mean, you've got young teenage girls getting pregnant because they think they can actually get on Teen Mom, the show on MTV, for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let me take some calls. What do you think about the goddamn slut walk? You going to participate in it? You going to go down there? I want to hear from you, all right? 407. What's going on, man?
How you doing, Ghost?
Not bad.
Well, about that slut walk, I think I think I might make a trip down to Austin just to go to that.
Oh yeah, well why? You can't get any sluts in your neighborhood over there? You don't have any sluts?
No, not in Orlando. Not in Orlando.
No.
It's a nice little magic town.
Really? There's no sluts out there, flashing ass, or are they all pregnant? They all got kids or something?
Nope. They're not showing any TRA.
Are you kidding me? You're in Orlando, Florida, man. It's out there where the beach is at. The hot sun. You mean to tell me that there's no bimbos out there with shorts crawling up their anal hole and cut off T-shirts and exposed nipples and all that other crap?
Nope. That's Miami, my boy. Miami.
Yeah, right. You're probably hanging out at gay clubs. Get this CD. Get him off. 111. You're on the air.
Hey, Ghost, I'll trade you my Pikachu.
Shut up. Texan Patriot, what's up?
Hi, Ghost. Quick question.
What's up? Can we all get along? Yeah. You stupid Scottish bastard. I mean, I'm shooting pearls here, and these people, this is how they repay me. This is Get him off my line. Get him off my switchboard. Man, look, I'm not joking about this. I hate to keep saying this over and over and over again, but I'm going to reiterate this. To you sorry sacks of crap, I want you to cease and assist those soundboards before I start getting serious, all right? Before I start getting serious out here, and stop these obnoxious YouTube videos about me, too. I don't like it. I don't like these YouTube videos. I don't like these goddamn soundboards. I don't like it. So cease and assist. You better cease and assist. You understand me? All of you sacks of crap. Look, you think it's real funny, huh? You think it's real funny? Cease and assist, you sorry sack of crap. Stupid piece of crap, man. I'm sitting over here shooting pearls to these idiots over here. I'm shooting pearls, and this is the kind of crap that I'm getting out here. People trying to make a goddamn jackass out of me, for Christ's sake. Trying to make a goddamn jackass out of me. Look at these people. Look at these people. Sick of this crap. We got slut walks. We got people dying all over the world. We got anonymous, out here promoting child porn. We got all this goddamn crap. It makes me sick. Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Oh, Jesus Christ. I know I got 15 minutes left, folks. I just don't have the motivation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm jaded. You understand? I mean, I'm depressed. I mean, every time I look at the riffraff that's not only, in America, in everyday life, when I walk the streets, but when I have these idiots call me up, for Christ's sake, it hit me right here. Right in the goddamn heart. Damn. Pisses me off, man. Piece of crap. Where's my drink? Where's my drink, for Christ's sake? My damn drink. Yeah, I needed that. I need some of that damn Johnny Walker Blue Label, baby. Let me have some more of that. Oh, man. No, I'm not in. Hey, where's the mic? Where's the mic? Where's the goddamn mic? I can't find the mic because of you stupid losers. Look at it. Because of you milky lickers pissing me off, I can't find the mic anywhere, for Christ's sake. I'm playing Marco Polo with the mic because of you stupid milky lickers. Jesus Christ. Where is this goddamn? I can't find it. I can't find any of this goddamn. I can't find any of this crap. Jesus Christ. Makes me sick over here. I'm sitting over here. I'm shooting pearls here. I just can't understand, for the life of me, all the knowledge that I'm putting forth. You understand? I mean, all the things that I'm doing. This is the kind of crap that I get from these stupid, disgusting, stinking losers. That makes me sick, man. Goddamn stupid mic right here. Stupid losers up in here, man. It's trying to piss me off. You're lucky. You goddamn idiots are lucky. We're not in some goddamn bar room. Oh, my God. If we were in a goddamn bar room, I'd stomp a mud hole in your ass, kick it dry, take a dirty diarrhea crap right in it, and all you could do was look back at me with a brown smile about it, look at me with a brown smile about it, and that's all you idiots could do. That's all you idiots can do. I'm going to take some calls. I got about 10 minutes left. I'm going to take a couple more calls, but let me tell you something, you sorry sacks of crap. I'm not joking. This is not a goddamn joke, you stupid sons of bitches. You better cease and desist those goddamn soundboards, and you better stop making a jackass out of me on YouTube, for Christ's sake. 718, you're on the air.
Hey, Ghost, this one goes out to 213.
See, here we go again. People making jackass. I mean, people still doing YouTube videos of me, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm gonna quit this. Quit. I'm done. It's over. I'm not gonna go and do this anymore. I'm quitting this crap. I'm quitting this crap. I don't care how many people are on. I don't care how many people are listening. I don't care. They want to embrace slut walks. They want to embrace all this ridiculous nonsense. They want to embrace Big Brother government giving them bread, loaves of bread in a bread line. They want to embrace all this socialist crap. I don't care. Jesus Christ. Anyway, oh, Jesus Christ. It pisses me off is what it does, you assholes. Look at these idiots in here. Oh, I'm such a drama queen. You're pissing me off. You're pissing me off. You're pissing me off. I mean, don't you understand that? Stupid sons of bitches. Stop with the goddamn soundboards. You know, the soundboard's one thing, all right? But these YouTube videos, you know? I mean, you know, how you edit these clips out and make me sound like some crazy neurotic jerk-off or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't appreciate what you assholes are doing on YouTube. I don't appreciate it whatsoever, and you better stop doing that, all right? Stop it now. Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about the slut walks, but I'm not gonna talk about the goddamn slut walks anymore, for Christ's sake. I mean, it just makes me angry. All right. All the people that are listening out there that want to be a true capitalist, all the individuals that are out there that understand that, you know, we have a specter of bureaucracy trying to influence our everyday lives by trying to overregulate us, overtaxate us, please go to www.capitalistarmy.com. All right, www.capitalistarmy.com. It's the only, and I do repeat, the only social networking site strictly for capitalists. You understand what I'm saying? There's the link, capitalistarmy.com. Jesus Christ. Anyway, 111, what's going on?
No, you're a hooker.
Oh, stupid. 111, what's up? You're taking too long. You're playing with your Peter Shaft milky liquor. Wheatley, what's going on?
I ever tell you about the time my buddy Keith got rolled?
Shut up. I don't really give a crap. I hope he died, all right? I hope he died. We got Albert Einstein on the horn. What's up? Get this idiot off. Get him off. I mean, you fruity bastards. You know that? I mean, you're pissing me off. You're pissing me off. You're pissing me off. You're pissing me off. You're pissing me. Damn it! That's it. I'm done. Turn off the show. Turn off this goddamn show. I don't want to do it anymore. For Christ's sake, turn it off. Turn it off. I don't care how many people are sitting there listening in. I don't give a crap. I don't care. Jesus Christ. Give me the mic. Give me the mic. Give me that goddamn mic, for Christ's sake. Look, all right? We got 6 minutes left in the broadcast, all right? I'm not going to let you idiots win this time, you sorry sacks of trolling crap. All right, you waste of human flesh. I'm not going to let you win, all right? I'm not going to get off the air. As a matter of fact, I'm going to sip another sip of Johnny Walker Blue Label first. And I might even sing a song. How about that? How about if I sing a song? Because drinking is what I like to do. Yeah. Anyway, let me give some shout-outs to people out here. You know what I mean? Let's get some shout-outs. We got One the Pariah, Abdul Salam, Alcoholic, and Hero Ghost, Anal Chocolate Milky Liquor. Jesus Christ, you sick sons of bitches with these names, man. Annan 1214, Annan 9369, Bend Over, Bloody Tampon. Are you serious, you idiot? Camping Core, Sereno, what's going on? The Jolly Z, Debbie Daly, what's going on? We got Donald Weber in the house. We got Drama Queen, Dr. Harry Shipman, Eat My Poop, you sick son of a bitch. Kick that idiot. Kick him out. He's a sick son of a bitch. Kick him out of here. Get out. We got Future DMB in the house. What's going on, Future DMB? We got Jeannie Santorini. All right? We got Ghost. Kick that idiot out. Kick those idiots out. Get him out. Get out. Anyway, we got a couple of ghost names that are pretty derogatory that they don't deserve any kind of goddamn props whatsoever. We got a whole bunch of guests in the house. What's going on to the guests up in here, all right? Get that inside one. Get him out. Get inside. Get him out. Get out. Get him out now. Anyway, we got Jims 93. What's going on, Jims? We got John Brand. We got Kyle Murno. We got Lumpy Poop Soup. Jesus Christ. You sick sons of bitches, man. You should be committed, for Christ's sake, for some of the sick crap that you come up with. Jesus Christ. We got my kids in the house. We got another one of my kids in the house. We got a melting pot of friendship in the house. What's going on? We got Mithro. We got that idiot Mother Russia. We got Wife Beats Me. Jesus Christ, your wife beats you, for Christ's sake? I mean, why don't you take her balls out of her purse, for Christ's sake? We got Niagara Roll. We got Officer Douchebag. We got Pissing Ghost Off. Yeah, that's a great name. How about Quit This Crap LOL? That's another great name. Racist equals Ghost. Kick that idiot out. Kick Racist equals Ghost out. Kick him out. Get out. Get him out. Get out. I'm not a racist, you sorry sacks of crap. Anyway, we got Seaman Feelin', okay? We got Seriously and Hero Ghost. Yeah, shove it up your ass. We got Shooting Pearls. We got Steve Mena in the house. We got Swole Eye. What's going on, Swole Eye? We got that stupid sack of crap syphilitic meat who comes in every day. We got Texan Cuckold. We got the guy, 1337. What's going on, the guy? We got the truth. What's going on? The truth is out there, is in the house. We got some idiot named Titus. We got V. Lenin, some asshole that actually believes in Vladimir Lenin's dumbass political philosophy. We've got Vince in the Bay in the house. What's going on, Vince in the Bay? We got Yoka. We got YouTube Ghost Baby. No, look, take YouTube Ghost out of here. I don't want you to get this idiot out. Get him out. Get out. Anyway, we got get that other ghost out. Get him out. Anyway, that's it. We got 2 minutes left in the broadcast, folks. Once again, I want to plug my latest sponsor once again. If you happen to be one of these sexually promiscuous idiots, and I'm sure all of you are, because, well, that's about all you know how to do is put your wee-wee into some orifice and and if you happen to have some kind of STD questions or need some consoling, need some testing, by God, 877-554-3066. All right, it's our latest sponsor. All right, it's our latest sponsor. Once again, all right, get the number 877-554-3066. All right, and they'll be able to console you the whole 9 yards. Not to mention, folks, I would like people to please follow me on Twitter. Don't be a milky licker. I know there's some people that follow me on Twitter and then they, stop following me after I make a couple of controversial tweets. All right? Ghost Politics. All one word, no underscores. Ghost Politics is the name to follow. All right? Oh, well, what's up, I'm Writer user? Anyway, Ghost Politics is the name to follow, all right? Ghost Politics, all right? I mean, follow me, for Christ's sake. I'm not joking, man. Don't be an ass clown and follow me for a second and, oh, you're too controversial. And not to mention, folks, I've got thousands of hours of true capitalist radio shows, true conservative radio shows. www.blogtalkradio.com/ghost, all right? I mean, whenever you're bored, whenever you need a late-night fix of true capitalist radio, all right, www.blogtalkradio.com/ghost, all right? No BS, right there. All right, bookmark, add to your favorites, the whole 9 yards. Anyway, I'm out of here, folks. Once again, follow me on Twitter. I'm going to be here tomorrow. Tomorrow's Bowler Friday. It's Bowler Friday tomorrow, and I hope to see you here every Monday through Friday, 4 to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And go to thecapitalistarmy.com. Go to thecapitalistarmy.com, for Christ's sake. Go to thecapitalistarmy.com. I'm out of here. Take me out of here, engineer. Get him out of here.
You've been listening to True Capitalist Radio. The thoughts, views, ideas, comments, and opinions of the host of this show are absolutely his. Catch more live episodes Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30 Central. Or check out archive shows at blogtalkradio.com. True Capitalist Radio.
That's it.
Buy a smartphone with GoPhone and get one free when you activate required lines of service and both devices on a qualifying rate plan with a $45 refill. AT&T, mobilizing your world. Offer ends May 31st, 2016. Valid on select phones at AT&T company-owned stores, which require new line of service on purchased phone, and participating authorized retail stores, which require new lines of service on both. Both phones require minimum $45 per month rate plan and $45 refill at time of sale in same transaction. Free phone must be equal or lesser value. See store for details.